Thomas Jefferson was one of our nation's founding fathers and the founding father of the University of Virginia. Little did he know that one day his school would sign a declaration of indestructibility. In less than a decade for the Cavaliers, George Welsh has gained independence from losing. His pass and run patriot, Sean Moore, is gaining support in the Heisman race, and Virginia is ranked #1 from the original 13 colonies to the rest of the country. Bobby Ross has started a revolution at Georgia Tech. His Yellow Jackets have not been stung with defeat this year. Their defense is one of the stingiest in the states. And today they'll be out to overthrow Virginia and take a bite out of its Cinderella season. Today, America will find out if #1 Virginia is for real. It's the Cavs and the Rambling Wreck coming up next. CFA Saturday, we welcome you to the lush Piedmont of Charlottesville, Virginia. If you ever get in this area, you have to spend a nickel on the tour of Monticello. You also must stop by the nearby campus with its Jeffersonian architecture. There's the noted honor student dormitory known as the Lawn. But today the biggest honor is to have a ticket to 16th ranked Georgia Tech and #1 ranked Virginia. For 59 years, students and alumni from the University of Virginia on autumn afternoons have walked from their majestic grounds to Scott Stadium. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Nance, and welcome simply to the biggest game that's ever been played here. I'm surrounded by the guys from the Delta Upsilon fraternity and their dates. You can't help but notice that everyone has a little extra bounce in their step today because there is so much at stake here. Possibly the national championship for Virginia, certainly the ACC championship, and maybe even the Heisman Trophy for quarterback Sean Moore. And as we approach game time and the stadium, just below us in their locker room, the Cavaliers are sitting around and wondering how they will shoulder the pressure and scrutiny that they face from the nation today. Tim Brandt.
All right, Jim, the top-ranked team in the nation, the #1 offense in the country, and yet it is a team searching for credibility. As they sit in that locker room, they firmly believe that they have earned the right, that they deserve to be the best of the rest until somebody proves elsewhere. Well, you know, there is an inordinate amount of pressure on the quarterback. That's Sean Moore today. He is a fifth-year grad student, very poised, productive, mature. As a matter of fact, he generates a touchdown every 1 out of every 10 times that he either runs or passes with a football. I believe, like a lot of other people today, that he can win or lose the Heisman Trophy in this ball game. He knows that, and he's still loose.
I've heard it, and I've also seen it in a lot of publications this week. And I think the important thing for me is not let that hinder my performance. You know, I'm going to go out, and I'm really looking forward to playing this game. And I think I'm ready to play. I think the team is ready, and I'm ready to perform. I'm ready to go out and take on this tough defense.
Now, Sean Moore is not the only weapon. There's Herman Moore, no relation. Acrobatic wide receiver, he's dangerous. The 2 running backs, Terry Kirby, high school player of the year in 1988. And there's also Fisher. And those 2 tailbacks are going for 100 or 1,000 yards, rather. They are on that pace, so it's a very explosive Virginia offense. Now, as we go inside the Georgia Tech locker room, let me just throw it down to John Dockery and just say that it will be a major test, a severe challenge for that highly rated Yellow Jacket defense.
And Tim, the final tense moments before the game starts. The Yellow Jacks perhaps pondering the fact that if they win today, they can take over first in the ACC and a feather in their cap for knocking off the #1 team. Defense is the name of the game for Georgia Tech. That's the way it's been since Bobby Dodd was there, and that's the way it is with Bobby Ross. Pressure defense. If they win today, they must get pressure from linebackers like Marco Coleman, who has 9 of the 33 sacks for Tech. And from the largest free safety in captivity, 6'3", 236-pound Ken Swilling, who is indeed very passionate about this game.
The thought that consumed me was how confident, how cocky they were, and how ripe they were for, you know, how ripe they are to be beat. I feel like this is the right time of the season for us to be playing them, because right now, you know, they've said a lot of things in the papers, and they've said a lot of things about me and about our team, and, you know, we're kind of off right now, and we're ready to play.
Pressure defense makes it happen if it happens today for Georgia Tech. Blitzing, stunting, making it happen. Turnover defense. These guys behind me are ready. Jim Nance, back up to you.
The Yellow Jackets have not lost in their last 11 games. The tie this year was against North Carolina.
Let's go, let's go!
And Virginia comes out at the same time. There's the coach, George Welch. Bobby Ross. A remarkable turnaround for Georgia Tech. It's going to be the biggest crowd in Virginia history. There's never been a game like this one here. Virginia and Georgia Tech at last.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus the Virginia Cavaliers. Today's CFA game is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
Attackers can hide under cars, so check underneath as you approach. Keep a small flashlight on your keyring to help you see, or ask someone to walk you to your car. Learn more in the driver security book, free from Shell.
Now, on with the opera.
From the people who brought you big screen television comes the sound to go with it.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give it.
Mitsubishi Home Theater Systems. Now playing at a dealer near you. Rosebud.
I didn't want to be the first, but when I heard how many other guys had already tried Rogaine, I did too. Now I have only one regret. I just wish I'd tried Rogaine sooner.
For more information about Rogaine with minoxidil, see your doctor or call this number.
If you're wondering whether Rogaine is for you, call this number, and we'll give you an incentive to find out. A certificate worth $10 toward a consultation visit with your doctor. Call 1-800-556-4800.
You've heard it said before. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. LaserJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. They'll get you noticed.
We can't win if you can't stop Ricky Henderson.
When something on your mind,
This could get ugly.
or something you eat,
Look at that jump.
gives you acid indigestion, it's time for extra strength Rolaids. Fast, 1,000 milligrams strong. Now that spells relief.
Can you believe the warm conditions in November? 80 degrees at kickoff. And maybe the field is now just beginning to cool off. If you missed the story earlier, vandalism struck here at Scott Stadium about 4 o'clock this morning. Someone set the artificial playing surface on fire. It burned the playing surface right down to the concrete, and a last-second repair job from the old playing field has things back in shape and ready to go.
They did an outstanding job, too, Jim. I was just looking at it. I was down on the field walking on it. There are no major seams. It's very level. I don't think it'll cause any problem whatsoever.
These two teams with a burning desire to gain respectability today. And Virginia won the toss, deferred to Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets will receive. Michael Husted will kick. And Kevin Tisdale, who ran a kick back last week for a touchdown, waits for the Jackets. Tisdale 2 yards deep. Here he comes. Out to the 20. Now you know about Sean Moore for Virginia. It's the battle of Sean's today. Sean Jones is the quarterback for Georgia Tech.
Sean said yesterday he loves big games. He thrives on them. Here are the running backs you're going to see. Stephen Scotton, mostly a running back, and William Bell. He's back there with Edwards and Wright.
The receivers, Emmett Merchant, their leading receiver, along with Rodriguez, and Tom Covington is the junior tight end from Hempstead, New York. Bell. 5 yards to the 25, tackled by Keith McMahons.
The offensive line is a strength for Virginia Tech. There's a redshirt sophomore, good feet. That's Billy Chubbs. He has got on both sides of him 2 great big guys. Lavin is 280 pounds. Sifri is 275. Both are very experienced. Sifri's the captain this week. Then there's Jenkins and Mooney, probably the 2 best.
McMeans makes the first tackle at 2nd and 5. Play action, and Jones completes it to Bobby Rodriguez for a first down. Zipped it in there at the 35-yard line. Let's check out now the Virginia Cavalier defense.
Ron Carey, nuts and bolts, kind of strong backs guy. Not overly talented, but he doesn't make many mistakes. Reynolds and Hall on both sides of him. Reynolds on the contained side. Chris Slade, watch him all day. He is a rough guy. They've compared him already to LT. There's Jackson Achillian, the youth and probably the weakness of the defense right now.
1st and 10. Fullback Scotton. For a gain of 2, Chris Slade made the tackle for Virginia. An excellent secondary for Virginia. Jason Wallace at one corner. Tony Covington. He loves to talk and fire up his teammates. He's at the other corner. Tyrone Lewis and Keith McMeans are the safeties.
McMeans is really a cornerback. They moved him to safety out of necessity.
2nd and 9. Jones, maybe a yard. Chris Slade, all fired up. And a player you've been fired up, Tim Brandt, all season you've been telling me about Chris Slade.
I really believe he's that good. He's put on 13 pounds. He hasn't lost any quickness, continues to mature mentally and athletically. Came in that time and played it so well because he also took away the pitch man, forced Jones down. And there is going to be a flag, I believe, so this may nullify an outstanding play by Slade.
Holding, offensive team, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, repeat 2nd down.
Quarterback Sean Jones for Georgia Tech is a sophomore from Thomasville, Georgia. As a redshirt freshman last year, he helped turn it around for the Yellow Jackets. Started every game last year. Here you see his numbers on this season, and what a turnaround it has been here at Georgia Tech.
Well, they lost 16 straight Atlantic Coast Conference games. You had Homer Rice and the Georgia Tech folks stuck with Bobby Ross. They gave him their confidence, and he turned things around to the point now where he's got that successful program. He's unbeaten, and he's going against the top-ranked team in the nation.
2nd and 19 for Georgia Tech. They run it with Bell. Back near the 36-yard line, setting up 3rd and 10 as Tyrone Lewis tackled him.
Watch the right tackle. Watch the block he gets right up the middle. Boom, make contact now, ride him out. Here comes the play inside. The hole's wide open, and then once he gets into the crease, the seam, he's got the yardage and gets him right back to where the original line of scrimmage was.
3rd and 11. Jones flips it to Bell. Punting time for Georgia Tech. Sean Moore is ready to get the football for the first time. Scott Aldridge is the Georgia Tech punter. Jason Wallace will return for the Cavaliers. Going to talk to George Welsh. We've seen a situation this year a couple of times where the headsets were not working on one sideline. And there are some headset problems.
Jim, when that happens, if one team can't hear and they're having problems, both teams have to take them off to neutralize things until they get them fixed.
That's relaying signals from the coaching staff upstairs. Short punt by Aldridge. Fair catch called. And it's grabbed on the bounce by Covington.
That's a legal play because it was his own man. Watch the up back, the blocking back, as he steps in front. And in order, trying to protect it, it actually hits the helmet. That's Stacey Parker.
Smart play by Covington, and Virginia is ready.
By 10:30 a.m. any business day, one company will guarantee delivery of your overnight air packages to more people, places, and businesses than anyone else in the industry. UPS introduces 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. 62,000 trucks. No waiting.
Training, Toyota style. Now hit the shower. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Recently, DuPont announced that its energy unit would pioneer the use of new double-hulled oil tankers in order to safeguard the environment. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. DuPont, better things for better living.
His little girl is kidnapped and buried alive. Peter Strauss and Robert Urich, based on a true story. 83 Hours Till Dawn, Sunday.
The big game feeling is everywhere here at Scott Stadium, as evidenced by the numbers. Possible record 47,000 people, including those sitting on the hill behind me. A media crush of 350, triple the usual crowd that comes. 8 bowl representatives, tickets going for as much as $150 to $200 if you can get them. This is a hot scene, Jim and Tim.
George Welsh knows it's the biggest game he's ever coached in. It's his 100th game at Virginia. Now here's that offense you've heard about all season long. 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers. Terry Kirby straight ahead for 3. Sean Moore leads the country in passing. He is #1 in pass efficiency.
He's won his last 17 starts, too. Dave Sweeney, the blocker, Terry Kirby, the runner, and he'll be spelled by Nicky Fisher. Herman Moore, it's been well documented how dangerous he is as a wide receiver. And Derek Dooley, not an overly talented guy, but has a knack for getting open. Tight ends Mark Cook.
Derek Dooley, the son of Vince Dooley, the longtime Georgia coach. 2nd and 6. Kirby again. Setting up about 3rd and 3 as Jeremiah McClary made the tackle.
Trevor Riles, smart, good hands, senior. On both sides of him, Stearns and Tomlin. Tomlin was a backup last year. Relatively inexperienced. Stearns is a converted defensive tackle. And then the big guys, Collins and Roberts. Roberts is 6'6", 300 pounds.
3rd, and we'll call it 3, as Nicky Fisher has come into the game, and Kirby goes in motion. Moore's first pass is complete to Kirby. into Georgia Tech territory.
Jim, Virginia had last week off. Island, although you get rest of your players, you can get them healthy. It takes away your momentum, and Welsh was concerned about his passing game. He says you may lose rhythm. So right away he goes to the fail-safe pass. High percentage to his back out of the backfield, and they pick up the first.
From the Georgia Tech 47. Straight back. Here comes the blitz. Moore gets away. Tough pass. Moore is there. Yards as Sean Moore threw across his body to Herman Moore.
First they came with the pressure and they got it from Holmes, but he didn't lock his arm. Here's the escapability of Sean Moore. Now they wanted to get Herman Moore on some of the cornerbacks because they're only 5'10", 5'11". Instead they locked him on a Swilling who's 6'3", and he's playing on a bad ankle.
Kirby from the 11 to the 5.
Well, you talk about, I was just going to say, you talk about a tough pass throwing back. Well, as momentum's carrying him left, he throws back right, almost sidearm. You know, I wonder, though, see, Swilling had good coverage on Herman Moore, but on that bad ankle, he told us yesterday he's only 85%. He couldn't plant and come back like Herman Moore.
2nd and 4, they're lined up in the I. Sweeney and Kirby. Moore in motion. Terry Kirby to the 1. That's near the first.
This offensive line has helped the runners average 311 yards a game. Guys like Kirby and Fisher, they just follow Roberts and Stearns everywhere all over the field. Well, Roberts is 300 pounds. They call him Puddin'. He opened up a huge hole that time.
First and goal for Virginia. Terry Kirby seeing a lot of rushes here early on this first possession. He was a high school teammate of Chris Slade, an outstanding defensive lineman for Virginia you've met already. Nicky Fisher near the goal line. Jeff Tomlin signaled for a touchdown, the right guard, but he's not in.
They get down close to the goal line. They run the wishbone. They go with the triple option. You can't tell the point of attack. Although Georgia Tech comes up and fills here in its short yardage defense. Great play by the down linemen on that defense because they got a yard deep in that offensive backfield, establishing a line of scrimmage and let the linebackers fill.
2nd and goal, full house backfield with Sweeney, Kirby, and Fisher. On the sneak, touchdown, Virginia. Touchdown for Sean Moore this year, in addition to the 18 he's thrown. And McInerney adds the extra point.
Dominant, well-executed drive. Moore takes it in on the quarterback sneak. 6 runs, 2 passes. Pretty much had their own way on that drive. So far, it's all Virginia.
soul with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
This year, IndyCar racing was dominated by one man.
More to more. Now, what he's saying is that his defense and his offense have to protect each other. The offense has to eat up some of the clock to keep the ball out of the hands of Sean Moore. Jim, you see how he keeps his hands on top of his head? That's not unusual. That's not because he's upset because they're trailing here. He does that all the time. He does it every game. It's just the way he walks the sidelines with his hands up on his head.
Tim Brandt knows him well because Bobby Ross was Tim Brandt's position coach at the University of Maryland. Hands to Bell. And leans for 6. It's a rushing record that was not broken until last year by Anthony Thompson. The Tech season. Well, only North Carolina was able to make a mark on them. 13-13 tie at Chapel Hill.
Of course, Mack Brown's Carolina team starting to come around here. They've played well the last 2 weeks, beat Maryland. But the big turning point for Georgia Tech was that big win against Maryland, too. They won it big.
2nd and 5 out of the eye. They go back to Bell. Chris Slade again.
The top of the screen. That's number 85. That's Slade. That's the guy we've been talking about. Comes down the line, takes on the blocker. Watch the play. Still gets up and makes the tackle. Just William Bell should never go down with a one-arm tackle, but that's how strong Slade is. It's a big-time play. He's only a sophomore.
3rd and 5. Slade comes in on Jones. And Mike Mooney makes the recovery.
Well, they call it an incomplete pass, Jim. Here's a guy that had 17 sacks last year. He's got 8 this year. Started the season a little bit slowly because he had an ankle problem. But again, look, just use a stutter step, gets rid of the blocker. Here he comes, Chris Slade. Remember that name. Pro scouts look at him and they say he's the equivalent at that age of Lawrence Taylor, who played at North Carolina. That's a heavy burden for a young guy to carry, but he's an outstanding player.
Called that an incompletion, although it looked like a fumble to me. On the punt to Wallace. Fumble after the whistle. Anthony Rice made the special teams tackle. Virginia set up again in good field position. They're near midfield, having already scored the first time they had the ball.
The Virginia countryside on a warm autumn afternoon, 80 degrees, sun-drenched fans, almost 47,000 of them here at the stadium celebrating #1 Virginia. And Jim, to put this in perspective, things are so good now. How bad were they at one time? 1958-60, Virginia lost 28 straight. Before Welsh got here, only 2 winning seasons in 29 years. And one season, 1977, Virginia only scored 56 points the entire season. That's how bad it was, as good as it is now on the other side. Back to you guys.
Yeah, they outproduced that 77 scoring drought in the first game this year. 59 in their opening victory. First down play, running the option. Moore flips it now. Here comes Kirby. Inside of the 30. Give him 23 yards on this one, Timmy.
Watch the right guard, right tackle. Both get good blocks, okay? There's the lock on by Tomlin, 58, but watch the block on the corner by Collins. Just takes out the contained man, and then all of a sudden, Terry Kirby's in the secondary. All you have to do on the option is find the crease. He found it and exploded.
First down from the 28. Fullback run, Gary Steele, backup fullback from Chesterfield, Virginia. Picks up a couple of yards. Now, this Tech defense did not allow a touchdown until the 20th quarter of the season. The last quarter of the 5th game. Mark Rocco Coleman, a sack specialist. Marlon Williams, strong secondary with Clay and Holmes. Balcom and Swilling. Fisher's in the game, 2nd and 6. That's the tailback. Herman Moore. First down, Virginia.
Georgia Tech is trying to use their free safety, Ken Swilling, to cover Herman Moore. Top of the screen. Swilling playing soft on a bad ankle. Cannot come back and make the play. It's the 2nd time he's let Herman Moore get away from him. And finally, Tagle, the linebacker, has to pursue and knock him out of bounds. But Ken Swilling, who is an outstanding free safety, is struggling today.
Herman Moore gains 13. First down, Cavaliers. Pitch to Fisher. He breaks the tackle and does not get away from Ken Swilling. Willie Clay helped out.
Jim, to follow up on what Doc was talking about, you know, most of the players on this Virginia team were in grade school when Welsh took over this program in 1982. He mentioned the previous 29 years, but I think those memories were dimmed greatly by last year's 10 wins and the Conference Co-Championship over the last 2 years. They've lost only to Notre Dame, Clemson, and Illinois. And when we talked to George Welsh yesterday, he said, hey, these were great learning experiences going against those powerhouses. It's helped mature my team.
We learned what we had to do to turn it up a notch, he said. Fisher on 2nd and 11. Will set up 3rd and about 9 from the 10-yard line. Thomas Balcom on the tackle.
He's concerned. This is the first time all year Georgia Tech has faced a team which runs and passes with equal effectiveness.
Johnny Wilson and Terrence Tomlin have come in as extra receivers on 3rd and 9. Looking to the end zone and batted down. Alvin Tiggle almost had the interception.
Well, Georgia Tech is one of the best in the nation in pass defense. They've got 14 interceptions. They give up only 148 yards per game, but this was an INT. Tiggle should have picked this off. When you talk to the coaches, that he's our most versatile athletic linebacker. That was right in his hands. He just didn't hold on. And look at Moore. Moore says, oh, I got a break.
That will bring out Jake McInerney for a 27-yard field goal attempt. He's missed only twice this year. Kick on that angle is good. Under 4 minutes to go in the first. Number 1 Virginia is leading 10-0. Out to the 23-yard line. Tackled by Jared Washington. Got a lot of games for you tomorrow because it's a doubleheader day. 12:30 Eastern Time, the NFL. Cowboys are coming up to Giant Stadium to play the Jets in late Chicago, Tampa Bay. It's tomorrow, doubleheader day on CBS. Join us at 12:30. William Bell trips at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he may have tripped, but Slade's taking credit for it. You know, George Welsh knew he had something special with Slade and scrapped an experiment last spring that had Chris moving into the Ray Savage's old position, which was a hybrid defensive end linebacker combination position, capitalized on Savage's pass covering abilities. And you don't want Slade in pass patterns or hook zones. You want him in the quarterback's base. So they scrapped that and just made him a pure defensive rushing end.
A 2nd and 11 here. Almost intercepted by Tyrone Lewis. Intended for James McInerney.
Well, you're dealing with a sophomore now. They say that he's going to be very good, but right now he's double pumping. I think he gets a little bit concerned about the pressure closing in on him. Chris Slade was putting pressure and put his hands up, and he threw a poor pass here, and he was lucky he didn't get intercepted. Emmett Merchant almost got it on the deflection for the Jackets, but they now have 3rd and 11 from their own 21. Here comes the rush. He gets it away, but incomplete. Intended for Covington. Would have been short of the first anyway. Exactly what Bobby Ross had feared. His team not able to generate first downs. They have only 1 to this point. They're a little bit unnerved right now, completely out of rhythm. Had the football 3 times. Aldridge. Wallace, fair catch. And a flag. Little interference, perhaps. Angelo Rush was in on him here, Tim. Watch the ground on the left side. Rush gets by the blocker, comes in and just undercuts him. There's no question about the penalty. He's got to show more control. Instead of coming down like that, he's got to break down, come under control, wait to see if he catches it, and then come in and make contact. Yards advances the football to the Virginia 47. That buffer zone is a 2-yard circle around that receiver. He's got 2 yards to make that catch, take a step, and stop. You cannot go in there. Dooley sent to the near side. Moore to the right. They're looking long for Herman. He's knocked down, and is there a flag? No flag. You know why? There's a flag at the line of scrimmage, but not in the secondary, and there should have been. And the reason being because the official got turned around. He had his back to the play and didn't see him get tripped. All right, here's the coverage. You see Swilling, number 1. Watch what he does as he comes over to Moore. There's the interference. Now the back judge in the left of your screen has his back. See him running away? He had his back to it. Reached for the flag and said, wait a minute, I didn't see it. He looked for help. Nobody supported him, so he walked away. Now, to compound that, the holding play goes against Virginia. Boy, that's a big break for Georgia Tech. We know them nationally as the Cavaliers, but around Charlottesville, they're the Wahoos. The Who's, in fact, will do for them. Or to us folks here in Atlantic Coast Conference territory, just the Who's. See it right there, plated on the helmet. 1st and 20, Gary Steele and Nicky Fisher in the backfield. Sean Moore keeps. Good defensive play by Marco Coleman and Calvin Tiggle. Let's get another update now. Back to New York. Andrea, take it away.
All right, Jim, in Fort Collins, Wyoming's undefeated record is on the line. Second quarter, Todd Urick scored on a 1-yard run for Colorado State. Rams went for 2, didn't get it, but they lead it 11-0 in the second quarter. Back to Jim Nance.
Boy, that could really spoil the Wyoming-BYU clash that's next week and was supposed to decide the WAC. It's a gray afternoon in the Rockies, but nothing but sunshine in the east. 2nd and 21 for Virginia, leading 10-0. Uh-oh. I was afraid Sean Moore was going to reach for that ankle, but he gains 10 on the carry and bounces to his feet just fine. We welcome you to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. School that Thomas Jefferson built. Home of the nation's #1 ranked team, Virginia. Jim Nance, Tim Brandt, and John Dockery. 3rd and 11. Complete for a first down.
Johnny Wilson on the reception. A gain of 14.
Let me just tell you that Herman Moore's on the right side, so that's all the coverage. See, everybody's starting to drift that way. Then they bring Wilson in from the left side, bring him underneath the coverage. They're moving Herman Moore around at all times, and they're double teaming him. Look at this. They're shadowing him. So to counteract that, Virginia keeps moving him. They put him at wide out. They put him in the slot. They put him in motion. But he's getting all the attention, so now they go to the backside.
Larry Holmes in as a receiver. 1st and 10 from the 42 of Tech. Nicky Fisher runs into Coleman Rudolph. Short gain. Final minute of the first. Virginia's closest game this season was week 2 against Clemson, and that was the first time ever Virginia had beaten the Tigers. They tore the goalpost down that September night.
Most points scored on them against William and Mary, which is a little bit shocking.
I got 35 on him, William and Mary. 2nd and 8. Herman Moore again. What an exciting receiver Herman Moore is. He's got 3 receptions for 54 yards.
With as much attention as he's getting, it's hard to believe he can still get the football. Look at this. This time Georgia Tech's in a zone, and again they missed the tackle. But you've got to come up, you've got to press him, you've got to go head up, you've got to bang him off the line, you have to let him know you're in the neighborhood, and they haven't done that.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score: Virginia 10, Georgia Tech nothing. We'll return to Scott Stadium after this message and a word from your local station.
In 1896, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays and changed the world of medicine. Those first X-ray tubes were made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens manufactures imaging technology that helps doctors save lives. And with 35,000 people nationwide, the men and women of Siemens will continue to manufacture ideas that even Professor Röntgen never dreamed of. Siemens, precision thinking.
This is CBS.
Another ad against issue 3. They use the oldest tricks in the book. Scare tactics and half-truths. Forget their phony ads. Read issue 3. It doesn't authorize even one resort casino. It just gives people the right to vote on it later. These guys are lying to us. They even tried to hide who's paying for their deceptive ads. Don't believe this. Look who's really behind it. Let's vote yes on issue 3.
Mary Ellen Withrow's job is to guard and wisely invest our tax dollars. But what has she been doing? Giving big banks no-bid contracts. The same big banks that give Withrow huge campaign contributions. We need a change in Columbus. The honest choice? Judith Brockman. Brockman is pledged to use competitive bidding to make sure we get the best return on our money. She's for us. Judith Brockman, an honest change in the Treasurer's office.
The Travels of Secretary of State Sherrod Brown, Part 2. Sherrod traveled the world, but he couldn't find time to have computers track the big money lobbyists when he had 8 years to do it. He soared the skies while his office expenses tripled. When Brown touched down from Russia, he even found a bag of illegal drugs in his own state car. While Sherrod was away, his employees were in play. It's time for a change. Join these respected Ohio newspapers. Say sayonara to Sherrod Brown. Elect Bob Taft.
24 hours a day. 9 stands for news.
The aerial pictures on today's broadcast are courtesy of Airship Shamu, painted black and white in the likeness of America's favorite killer whale at SeaWorld. Now let's summarize the first quarter, which really belonged to #1 ranked Virginia, leading 10-0.
Well, they're dominating thus far, and the key is time of possession, of course, and 137 total yards to just 33 for Georgia Tech. You know, last night, George Welsh talked to his team for 2 or 3 minutes about keeping the pressure on Georgia Tech, told his club to play every down like it will decide the game, and so far they've done that. If you look at it, Jim, I think there's 3 keys here. Number 1, Virginia has kept the pressure on Tech. They've given Sean Moore some carries early. He's 3 carries for 10 yards, and then slayed defensively.
Virginia faces 3rd and 2 from the 34 of Tech. Fisher, throw to Moore, pass was behind him.
Kevin Moore was open. That was not a good pass. It's one of the few things that, maybe the only thing to this point Sean Moore has done wrong to this point.
One of the things that Virginia thought it could do coming into this game is throw the alley-oop pass. Use his height. He's 6'5", and the cornerbacks are only 5'10", 5'11" for Georgia Tech. Tech came out and they put Ken Swilling, who's 6'3", on him. He's been locked on. It's been one-on-one. It's been a challenge thus far in the game, and Moore is dominating.
On 4th and 2, they deliberated going for it, but they're going to attempt a 51-yard field goal. McInerney going for a school record. He's got it. For Jake McInerney.
You know what they're saying to the skeptics? Look at the top of that helmet where it said, who's number one? We are. The adrenaline is flowing. Three possessions, and they've gotten a touchdown and 2 field goals scored every time they've had the football.
Let's go down to John Dockery for a report. Doc?
You know, if you look behind me, you see Kevin Tisdale, a kickoff return man for Tech, and he's a success story that almost didn't happen. You see, last week before the Duke game, he wasn't on the dress travel squad. He got distraught. He almost quit until Bobby Ross got to him before the game and said, hey, that was just a mistake. And then he promptly returned the kickoff 85 yards, and Ross gave him a scholarship right after the game.
Here he is, Tisdale. Tackled by Washington. This week's Toyota Leadership Award goes to Stephen Scotton from Georgia Tech. He's got a 3.5 grade point average in electrical engineering. A recipient of the Bobby Dodd Scholarship at Georgia Tech. And Derek Dooley of Virginia, 3.07 GPA, and participates in an elementary school hero program. Bell with a good run for a first down to the 37-yard line. Make that Jeff Wright. Toyota donates a check for $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. Jeff Wright gets a first for a first down, and Tech's offense now needs to do something.
Mentally, Jim, they've got to get in the game.
On to Keith Jones, and a gain of 3, maybe 4. Kenneth Miles on the tackle.
When you run the option, you've got to think defensively to stop the dive, the pitch, and the quarterback. You really have a tough time stopping all 3. If they continue to run that, Jones has to read quickly, and they can be successful with it because it's young, the linebacker core for Virginia, very young, and they'll overrun some plays.
Deepest penetration of the game to this point for Tech. Its own 30, or no, its own 41-yard line. Lawson. Near the first down yardage.
Starting to play with more confidence. This play set up by Jones. See, he looks like he's going to drop back the pass. Then he just hands it off underneath to Lawson, almost on the draw. Big hit by the linebackers, but still Lawson comes away before he finally takes the second hit. Had his legs tied up and then took that upstairs.
He picked up the first, Timmy. Right into Virginia territory at the 45-yard line. Now they've got it moving, Tech, for the first time today. Hey, let's get a Heisman update from Andrea Joyce.
All right, right, Jim, in the last two games, Rocket Ismail has made the difference for Notre Dame, and after a slow start today, another big performance here, a 54-yard touchdown catch from Rick Meyer. Notre Dame leads 52-31, 9 seconds left in the game, 219 all-purpose yards so far for Rocket. Back to Jim Nance.
Second down 3. Georgia Tech and Jeff Wright. First down, I believe, at the 41-yard line. Yes. Yusef Jackson made the tackle. Jesse Jackson's youngest son. One of the key members of the Virginia defense.
I was talking to Yusef Jackson before the game when I was down on the field. He says, hey, they want to come at me, don't they? I said, I think they are going to attack you because you are young. He says, everybody's young once. I'm ready to play.
He's number 51, only a sophomore, one of the leading tacklers, Yusef Jackson.
You know, when Jerry Mays was at Georgia Tech, he used to get the ball exclusively. Now Bobby Ross uses all three tailbacks, Bell, Edwards, Wright. Now Edwards a little bit banged up with his ankle, but Bell and Wright both play. There's a good look at Yusef Jackson.
Daryl Jenkins has been hobbled by injury this season. He takes the stagger to the sidelines.
Georgia Tech had only one first down coming into this drive. This drive alone, they've got 3. So all of a sudden, the confidence starting to build. They need to keep this going, get into the end zone. If they do that, we might have a pretty good ball game here.
Russell Freeman replaces him at left tackle. First down, Georgia Tech. Good stick put on by Ron Carey. He hit the ball carrier, Jeff Wright. 1-yard gain for the Yellow Jackets.
There's big old 90. Ron Carey, we said he's a nuts and bolts strong backs type guy. Been here forever, graduated already, pursuing a master's in sports medicine. He's not quick, but he's strong and he gets it done.
Second down 9. Jones fires it over, complete at the 33-yard line. Bobby Rodriguez. Set up third and about 3. We talked to Stephen Scott, the starting fullback, about the message Tech wants to send today.
I think that we're going to send the message that Georgia Tech football is back. And we've been down for a while, for a couple years. And we've established ourselves back into national prominence, and we want to keep it up there.
They're moving the football, but they face 3rd and 2 here. Pitch to Wright, has the first inside the 30. Chris Slade drags him down at the 28-yard line, along with Vincent Goodwin.
Everything that happens in this offense is predicated on the success of the fullback. He's got to block well for it to work. I think Stephen Scotton is a key in that regard. Along with Jones, Tech wants to expose the talents of Sean Jones today. That time he just timed it perfectly on the pitch. Let that outside flood contain, commit himself, and then pitch it.
Double tight end formation. Anthony Rice is the extra tight end. Wright is the lone back, takes it on the pitch. Runs into McMeans at the 23-yard line.
Unique style of running, doesn't he? He's not real fast, but he's smooth. They call him a glider. 6'1", 200 pounds, runs almost straight up and down. That's what Bobby Ross was talking about earlier. His offense has to protect his defense. You've got to keep Virginia off the field. They're doing that with this drive.
Carl Lawson is the fullback, Wright the tailback on 2nd down, 6. Play action. Here comes Slade. The pass is away. Incomplete. Emmett Merchant was the receiver, underthrown.
Number 85, the right of your screen, playing on the weak side. The tight end was the other side, so he comes free, gets backside pressure, and just about has the sack. That's a strong play by Jones to get that ball away.
3rd and 6 for Georgia Tech. He'll run for it. Jones has the first down. And the touchdown for Georgia Tech.
Told us yesterday Jones is comparable to Sean Moore. You and I looked at each other. We said, oh, come on, coach. But he believes that. He thinks he's talented. He wants to expose those talents.
23-yard scramble for a touchdown. Scott Sisson makes it 7 points now for Tech, within 6 of Virginia.
Jones ran for 77 yards last week and 2 touchdowns. He's run for 5 touchdowns on the year. This play, he steps back up into the pocket, decides to run almost immediately, and once he gets outside of containment, there's nobody there. The pursuit can't catch him. Closest one to him was Tyrone Lewis, and he was still 5 yards behind him when he hit the goal line. Welsh is not happy.
Virginia, and the kick comes to the 9-yard line. Larry Holmes. And we go down to John Dockery for a report. Doc?
You know, Jim, you and Tim have been talking about the battle of the big skill men, Moore and Swilling. Well, you know, Swilling came into this game off a 2-game injury. His right ankle is almost encased in tape. I talked to him yesterday. He said, well, I'm about 85%. I just asked him now how he was. He said okay, but it was kind of tentative. So it'll be interesting to watch him to see how effective he's going to be. Back to you guys.
There's a flag down. We're waiting to see what that is, Doc. But, you know, I talked to him when I was down there, too, and I asked him before the game, how you feeling, Ken? He says, hey, I feel great. I feel great. Moore beats him a couple times. And how's your ankle now, Ken? Well, it's a little bit. It's sore. No, I'm just teasing. He's a great football player.
Offsides on the kick. We'll repeat the kick.
Yeah, Virginia wants them to re-kick it because they had not returned it to the 20. They can improve on that, they feel.
You know, Jim, just like Slade is a major player on that defensive unit for Virginia, it's the same with Georgia Tech. Swilling is that guy. Coleman is that guy. Both those guys are nicked up. They aren't 100%, and that's hurt Georgia Tech.
Talk about Bobby Ross, playing for Bobby Ross, Coach Claiborne up at Maryland. Practically every week you bring back an anecdote that was special to you.
Well, the thing about Bobby Ross is he's such a good game coach. He adjusts so well on the sidelines. He'll make adjustments. And he's already seen now what Virginia's trying to do, so he's made those adjustments, and we've seen him offensively, and now we'll see if the adjustments defensively can stop Moore to Moore.
Bobby's back in his home state today. He was born in Richmond, Virginia. He's 53. Alan Waters will kick. Very short kick it is. To the 25 is all. Here comes Larry Holmes. Near the 40. Oh, they picked up about 25 yards off a 5-yard penalty.
See, we told you Virginia scored on all 3 possessions thus far. We saw the adjustments he made offensively. That was to start using Jones a little bit more. Let the Virginia inexperience overrun the plays and then come back inside on the crease. And that's what happened on the scramble touchdown and a couple of the option plays. But now he's got to make adjustments defensively. Let's see what he does.
Nicky Fisher. Up 2. Hit first by Chris Simmons. Tech's touchdown man and quarterback Sean Jones on the bench. But here's the tailback tandem for Virginia.
Kirby is a distant cousin of Slade. Those two guys teamed up in high school down in Tabb, Virginia, were outstanding. But both these running backs on a pace to go to 1,000 yards.
And Fisher was a high school teammate of Sean Moore in Martinsville, Virginia. 2nd and 8. Play action. Looking long. Herman Moore is out there.
Understand how you can let him get behind you. Here they're upset, pressing him. They've got to bang him. They let him off the line freely. Never got a hand on him, and he just runs by Curly Day. If you're Curly Day and you're giving up a height advantage and a speed advantage, you've got to make contact up there. You can't let him off that line freely. He'll just run right by you. His stride, 2 steps, and he covers 5 yards. Look at that. For Curly Day, it's a 4-step, 5-yard run. He's going to get you every time.
44 yards on that play. First down, Virginia. Fisher for a gain of 2. Jarrell Williams on the tackle. Herman Moore with 4 catches for 99 yards.
How about Sean Moore? 6 for 8 passing, 3 carries, 55 yards running.
Herman has scored a touchdown, caught a touchdown pass in the last 9 games. 2nd and 8, midway 2nd quarter. Option pitch to Fisher. Here he goes to the 1.
Watch Herman Moore. You think he's just a receiver? Watch this. All right, he's going to take Day right out of there. Day is not in the play now. He's not even a factor. Then Fisher runs right inside of him. You know, Fisher almost quit this team as well. He had gout, sat out for a while, came back to practice. He knew Kirby was going to be the #1 guy. So he says, hey, wait a minute. This isn't for me. Thought seriously about transferring. They talked him into staying. Now he's alternating playing time with Kirby.
Full house backfield. He stays in there with Kirby and Gary Steele on the sneak. Sean Moore does not get in. That's how.
No, he can't get lower. Get in, let's get the touchdown first.
Hear what he's saying? He looked at his coaches and he says, hey, they can't get lower. A coach evidently was telling the lineman to get lower and have Moore sneak him in lower. He says he can't get any lower. Let's get the touchdown first and we'll worry about what takes place after that.
Sean Moore scored on that same play, a sneak in the 1st quarter. 2nd and goal. There it is again. Touchdown once again for Virginia. Are going to go for 2. 19-7, Virginia hoping to bring the edge to 14.
Georgia Tech wasn't sure he even got in. They didn't think he broke the plane, and then Moore fumbled. Georgia Tech thought they had the ball back, but he did break the plane. There was no hesitation at all from the side judge when he signaled.
Virginia's 3 for 3 this year on 2-point conversions. To Herman Moore.
This is the alley-oop. They tried to do it. All right, now, first of all, there's Moore. He fumbles the ball. Georgia Tech thought they had stopped him and got the ball back. No hesitation by the side judge, says it's good. Here comes the alley-oop. You've got 6'5" Herman Moore working against Day. He's 5'9". Just put it up, let Moore go get it. No contest.
Don't worry, Mom. You'll get there in time. You're driving the Toyota Camry All-Track. It's got all-wheel drive to pull you through. It's got an anti-lock brake system for additional stopping control. The Toyota Camry. You've got the perfect car. And the most trouble-free in its class. 3 years in a row. So don't worry. Be happy you've got a Camry.
what you do for me, Toyota.
It's back! The Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast is back! More pepperoni and extra cheese for only $7.99. And another one for just $4 more. But only for a limited time. Call now. Domino's Pizza.
The temperature never drops below Zerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Zerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Zerex.
Ready for some good news? If your car is in an accident and you have Allstate insurance, you can leave it in our hands. Allstate's recommended pro shops can do everything, including the estimate, in one stop. And to make you feel even better, Allstate will guarantee their workmanship for as long as you own your car. Well, that's the news. Now, be careful. You're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
Can they be stopped? 4 possessions for Virginia. They scored all 4 times. Here's the last touchdown. Watch number 96, McClary, gets his hat right on the football, right at the top of your screen. See it? And the ball comes loose. That's Sean Moore on the quarterback sneak. Georgia Tech thought it had a fumble recovery, but he was over. Watch this angle. Here is Moore again, over top, touchdown right there. Now there's McClary's helmet, knocks it loose. He was across the plane before the fumble. The sign came up immediately, touchdown, 4 for 4. Virginia scored all 4 times it's had the football.
And now 4 for 4 on the year in 2-point attempts as they threw the alley-oop to 6'5" Herman Moore. Michael Husted handles the kickoff duties.
That's Steve Farr taking him in. He's a special teams player. They got his hand wrapped. A hand injury.
Liner. Tisdale running. And a nice return to the 36-yard line. We return to John Dockery.
Thank you, Jim Nantz. And, you know, Herman Moore, a big story of today's game, but he's more than just an outstanding wide receiver for Virginia. He's a Renaissance man whose talents transcend the football arena. Take track and field. As a high jumper, he has a record, the ACC record, indoor and out, 7'3½". And he's also an artist, as you can see here, talented from his watercolors and his charcoals. And, you know, when you look at his statistics on the field, amazing. 1 touchdown every 3 catches. Creative and productive, Herman Moore.
Georgia Tech productive last time it had the football. Here they start out this drive with a completion to Rodriguez near midfield. A gain of 12.
You know, before we stopped talking about Herman Moore, he talked about he came into the game with 30 catches, 10 touchdowns, 3-1 ratio. Last year he scored a touchdown or got a first down on 34 of the 36 times he touched the football. That's production.
6 minutes to go, first half. First down for Georgia Tech. Quickie to the tight end Covington and into Virginia turf at the 43, about a yard shy of the first.
You know, don't write for Georgia Tech out of this thing yet. I mean, the last possession was a good one. They held the ball over 5 minutes. They moved it down the field. They got a score. They got on the board. They come back in now, and they're starting to move it again. But the thing is, they've got to keep Virginia within 2 touchdowns. If it gets much further than that, then they're going to start to fade out of this picture quickly. So this has to be a productive drive with only 5:35 remaining in the first half.
2nd and 1, throwing for it. Throwing for it all.
He's open.
He is indeed. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Jerry Gilchrist.
That's what I mean. Don't write Georgia Tech out of this thing yet. Jones put that thing right on the money. and he goes to Gilchrist. Now, let me tell you about Gilchrist. He's a track guy with 4.3 speed, so let him out there and let him run.
Sisson's extra point. Tech is within 7 now, 21-14. First touchdown in his career. Jerry Gilchrist, 43 yards.
This is a pretty good move by Bobby Ross. He takes a track athlete, sticks him out wide, and just sends him on a fly pattern. You don't have to be fundamentally sound running pass patterns here. Just run, get open, run behind everybody, and he blew Jason Wallace away. 4.3 speed, touchdown, 21-14.
And the ACC is putting on a show.
On Wall Street, fortunes are won and lost and won again before 10:30. Amid the halls of ivy, the best ideas often come and go before 10:30. And on the back lots of Hollywood, love often blooms and fades before 10:30. Which is why Federal Express delivers before 10:30 at more places around the country than anyone else. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
I thought we were going to the movies. Hey, I'm ready. You can't go to the theater dressed like that. You can if you own it. Oh, it's the Magnavox Projection TV. My very own movie theater. The Magnavox Enhanced Video System really makes it sharp and clear. Just like the movies. And with the JBL system, you can almost feel the Dolby surround sound. Just like the movies. This could be one of the smartest ideas you've ever had. Yeah. I thought the other one was pretty good, too.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. On November 10th, the United States Marine Corps celebrates the birth date of its proud and distinguished history. History that will be remembered for that elite corps of men who made it, the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
We told you we were going to do it.
And we did.
We're on the sideline.
We're with the experts.
We're the last word before the kickoff.
The NFL today, 12:30 Eastern.
Cozy Scott Stadium and a record crowd expected. They have not named it yet, but it's expected to be the largest ever. Framed against Mount Monticello in the Blue Ridge Range. In a game like they've never had in Charlottesville. They started football in 1888. Number 1 against number 16, and it's a fireworks display to this point. 21-14 Virginia. Jim Nantz along with Tim Brandt and John Dockery. As the shadows creep across the field, the lights will be on for the second half in this one. Waters handles the kickoff chores for Tech. Larry Holmes looking into the sun at the 5. To the 23-yard line. Caught at the ankles by Kevin Peoples.
He's going to get a few more yards out of it, too. There was a flag dropped, I think, for a late hit. We may have a personal foul against Georgia Tech. It is. You cannot afford to make mistakes like that in a game of this magnitude, especially when you're trailing. Now, there's a great play because he's made the tackle from behind the pursuit. But wait a minute now. I'm not so sure that was a late hit. He tried to avoid the guy. He was already lunging forward.
I didn't see it.
That's Derek O'Shea, and I'm telling you, I think that's a bad flag against Georgia Tech.
It's a big one, too. 15 yards it tacks on for the Cavaliers.
See if he doesn't try to avoid the tackler. I mean, the ball carrier. Watch this now. He comes out of the right hand of your screen. Here he comes, O'Shea. Barely touched him.
It wasn't a spear job either. I mean, he didn't come in looking for the head. And Kirby right to the 50. A gain of 12, Terry Kirby. This much talked about all season long Georgia Tech defense. Where is it to this point, Tim?
It's been non-existent. They certainly haven't been able to stop Virginia, I think they're worried too much about Herman Moore now. They've got to get up, bang him. They've been trying to double team him, but the linebackers now have to become more active when that's the case.
First down. Terry Kirby. The Who's have it 2nd and 1 from the Tech 41.
Jim, Virginia uses a lot of formations just to position the defense. They put wide receivers 17 yards from the ball, so you have to put somebody out there. Makes the middle a little bit thin, thins out your defense.
Kirby spins for the first inside of the 40. And we're inside 5 minutes to go before the half. Scoring-wise, Sean Moore took the opening possession for the Cavs on a sneak. Then McInerney, 27-yard field goal, 10-0 after the first quarter. A school record 51-yarder, make it 13-0. But back came Sean Jones. He ran 23 yards for a score. Sean Moore answered with another sneak. And then Jones connected 43 yards to Gilchrist. 1st and 10, Virginia. Herman Moore falls, but still makes the catch.
Wow. He's special. First of all, it's a 3-step drop. Right away, it's hard to get pressure on the quarterback when that happens. It also puts pressure on the secondary because you've got to come up quickly. But more importantly, watch Herman Moore. He slips down. And watch his agility. Comes back up, makes the tackle or the catch, and has the yardage, positive yardage.
Has Virginia at the 33-yard line. 2nd and 4. Gary Steele with his 2nd carry today near the 30. Herman Moore now has over 100 yards receiving plus the 2-point catch.
He's hard to overthrow too. He's 6'5". The big question being asked in Charlottesville, being just a junior, is will he be in school next year or will he opt to go with the NFL? You see his statistics here are all very impressive.
I think he's going.
I do too.
3rd down and a yard to go. Kirby gets the first. A bear hug by Kevin Battle. Cavs still pick it up though.
Terry Kirby, very, very versatile. Plays on the basketball team, averaged 4 points in 17 games with the basketball team last year as a freshman for Terry Holland. Right now he ranks 16th in the nation in rushing. Came into this game with 734 yards. Right now he's got 58 yards running and 22 receiving.
First down the line. Moore was faking the pass to Herman, and he keeps it for a short gain.
He was trying to pass. They had him covered front ways and back ways. Day came up and had underneath coverage, and the safety Swilling came over and had deep control. It's really the first time they've been able to shut Herman Moore down.
Second down, 8 to go for Virginia. Driving here with 2 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Tackled from behind, Coleman Rudolph. He was set up 3rd and about 7.
This Georgia Tech defensive unit has good speed with a hunt confront mentality. It takes pride in the fact that it's ranked nationally. It's recognized as one of the best. They fly to the football, try to out-hit each other. But to this point, they've been out of sync. They've been playing on their heels. They haven't really figured out yet the multiple formations the way that Virginia's coming after them.
You see number 2 come to the near side, Terrence Tomlin. 3rd down, 7 to go. There's Tomlin. First down, Virginia. yards on that play.
They'll go to 4 wide outs. It's like the run and shoot. It's not predicated on down and distance. You can run it anywhere, anytime. It stretches you thin. This time Herman Moore went to the right, and they came back underneath and got the pass completion on the left side.
First and goal, Kirby on the run. Short gain. 45 seconds left, and you see the Cavs call the timeout. The first one they've used in the game.
Yeah. What yard line we on?
Kind of gets a little confusing inside of the 10. The field is also marked for soccer and field hockey, but the ball is at the 7-yard line, and we'll be right back.
I couldn't wait to call in my Toyota story. I play hard in the outdoors, but I need a truck that I can depend on to get me there. My Toyota's got 123,876 miles on it and still plays as hard as I do.
I'm in the delivery business. My Toyota truck has 352,917 miles on it. This is our bread and butter, this truck right here. If it's not running, I don't go to work, and we don't make any money that day.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Ben and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cruel. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Wild thing. It is a wild thing. Come shout and sing, join in the ring. It could be queen or it could be king. You go your way and I'll go mine. As long as you just make it fine.
The good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never let you down.
Surveys throughout the second quarter. The athletics appreciate your support. You counter now. For the future overseas football.
You counted one, you counted one. Take a shot for a loss.
That's all right. The loss doesn't matter that much. Field goal range.
Okay, we'll go Cheetahs, right?
Just hold on to the ball. Counter one.
Let's go, Sean. Let's go, baby. Cheetahs.
George Welsh and Tom O'Brien talking to Sean Moore just before the half.
So he said a loss doesn't matter here. We can still get the field goal, come back and get it. The most important thing, he said, was hold on to the football.
Trips to the right on 2nd and goal. Moore runs with it and scores for the 3rd time today. McInerney makes the extra point. 28-14 Virginia. 2 field goals by that man, McInerney, and 3 rushing touchdowns by Heisman candidate Sean Moore.
Watch this. Now, Welsh got this quarterback draw from watching the Denver Broncos Monday Night Football. Here we go. Watch these 2 guys. They're going to come up, they're going to pull, and they're going to lead him inside. Well, these guys come back and take everybody out the other way. So they'll pull the backside. Here they come. And then watch Moore will take it back. He was watching the Denver Broncos and saw this play. Gap block, pull the guard and tackle for an extra lead blocker, and let your man go. And when you've got a talent like Sean Moore who can run, can throw, if you're playing defense, you've got to respect both. Here, they're going after the pass. Outside pressure comes. The middle's open. Sean Moore takes it in for the touchdown.
Oh, you knocked my helmet off, bro. What? You knocked my helmet off. It was going there. He was all the way.
He should be happy. Look, he's having a great day.
I just had to make somebody miss.
He wants Coach to keep watching television, come up with some more plays for him.
36 seconds left in the second quarter. The return, Angelo Rush to the 29-yard line. Let's go back down to John Dockery.
You know, Jim, 2 weeks ago, Virginia lost their all-star tight end, Bruce McGonigal, with a lacerated spleen. Bruce, what do the doctors say about it?
Well, this is the type of game you miss being in. It's a competitive ball game, and we really haven't had it. We've had a couple close ones this year, but this is the kind of game I really miss being in.
What about your return?
Well, the doctors say it's going to be a few weeks until I can start, running and stuff like that. But
1 second, Bruce. Let's watch this play. We'll get back to you.
Sean Jones almost intercepted by Jason Wallace near the 50.
Bruce McGonigal, what about your absence in this offense? What does it mean to Virginia? Not so much right now. They have 28 points, but in general.
We have a lot of points on the ball. I think what it is, puts a little more pressure on the other receivers, Herman Moore and the other guys, but they seem to be handling real well. Herm's a top-notch receiver, and he's not worried about any of that.
They certainly have handled it. Well, last year, this man, Bruce McGonigal, 6 for 157 yards against Tech. Back to you guys.
Second down play, Jones sideline route. Nice grab. He took it away. Emmett Merchant took it away from the defender, Tony Covington.
The way Bruce was injured is really strange. It was an unusual accident. He was at his girlfriend's house, went out to find her dog who was lost. It was a dark night. He fell into a construction site and almost died. He had that spleen injury. He just got out of the hospital on Wednesday, and they found him unconscious. We hope he comes back soon. They say he may play in the bowl game.
16 seconds left in the second quarter. Rodriguez is the target. One-on-one coverage all over him. Jason Wallace staying right with him. Good coverage. Coming up at halftime, Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa from New York. Scores and highlights from around the nation. Ten seconds left in the second quarter. Stepping forward, incomplete. A pass that should have been caught by Bobby Rodriguez. Five seconds left. Is made by Covington. That'll end the first half with the score. Virginia 28, Georgia Tech 14. Right now, let's take you to Andrea Joyce in our New York studio.
All right, Jim, while you've been watching one Heisman candidate out there in Charlottesville, we've been keeping our eye on another one in Colorado Springs. Ty Detmer doesn't seem to be bothered at all by the snow and cold at Falcon Stadium. They were expecting 6 inches of snow, wind chill factor of 0 degrees. But here he connects with Andy Boyce, a 36-yard touchdown pass. They connected earlier for a score. Ty Detmer picks up his 20th consecutive 300-yard game. And we will be back after a message and a word from your local station.
Turn back the clock to when the world was a gentler place, and you'll find yourself in Philadelphia at Strawbridge & Clothier, a department store founded in 1868 by two gentlemen who believed in the unique principle that you never say no to a customer. So if you go, expect to be pampered, and bring your Visa card. Because at Strawbridge & Clothier, they still don't take their customers for granted, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the king.
And it shows.
You guys just think you're so bad.
You think that's bad? This is bad.
Hot and spicy chicken. So good, it's bad.
This is the king of bad. I'm telling you.
This isn't bad. This is good. This is incredibly good. Hot and spicy chicken. I say something bad? This October, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
This is CBS.
9 years ago, my son Adam disappeared from a shopping mall. 2 weeks later, they found his body.
I learned about that horrible tragedy, and I was outraged that Ohio had a better system for tracking missing cars than we did for tracking missing children. So I wrote Ohio's Missing Children Law.
Adam's gone, but other children may live and other families may be spared our pain thanks to Lee Fisher.
Fighting to protect Ohio's families. Lee Fisher for Attorney General.
Here's $500. Want it? Take it. You couldn't have it last month. Can't have it next month. Today, it's yours. Here's $750. Put it with the $500. Here's $600 more. If you need one of these, don't miss this. For 40 days, the reliable men of Olds will start you, rev you, and protect you with the Oldsmobile Edge. Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais 8900, Cutlass Calais 8900, plus up to $3,000 back on 1990s from your reliable men of Olds dealer.
Who will be the best governor for Ohio's working families? Celebrezzi. Crack down on insurance companies to hold health costs down. Voinovich calls the insurance companies real heroes, opposes a crackdown. Celebrezzi fighting for workfare to replace welfare. Voinovich, while he was mayor, welfare rolls in Cleveland went up 87%. Celebrezzi pushing for better schools, teach the basics, tougher discipline. Voinovich did nothing for Cleveland schools and more kids dropped out than graduated. Tony Celebrezzi fighting for working people, the strength and heart of Ohio.
Every hour of every day, 9 stands for news.
Welcome to College Football Today Halftime. Now, Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa.
Welcome back to New York, everyone. Our score at halftime from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, #1 Virginia leading Georgia Tech 28-14, and Mike Sean Moore has really had an opportunity today to show people why he's a legitimate Heisman candidate.
He has done that. He has gotten off quickly, and he got off quickly in the game early, made some big plays. As you see here, corner blitz. He rolls to the left. It's a tough pass to throw. Has his favorite receiver, Herman Moore, downfield against the injured Ken Swilling. Makes a big play. Virginia has scored on all 5 of its possessions in the first half. And Georgia Tech has been able to make a couple of big plays to keep it close.
All right, now Virginia goes into locker room with the momentum. What do you expect from Georgia Tech in the second half?
I think they realize that their defense can't match with Virginia. They're going to have to throw the football. But I still think it'll be a Virginia win by, say, 24 or more points. I think they'll blow it open in the second half.
All right, elsewhere this afternoon, out at the Meadowlands, #2 Notre Dame continues its dominance over Navy. 52-31 the final there. After a slow start, Rocket Ismail put together a fine performance today. Here, a 54-yard touchdown reception from Rick Meyer. Rocket with 219 all-purpose yards. Notre Dame's 27th consecutive win over Navy. And Curry Kirkpatrick spoke with the Rocket after the game, and he admitted that Notre Dame was flat in the first half, but said they were not looking ahead to next week's game with Tennessee. And Mike, the question with Rocket's numbers today, where is he in the Heisman race?
Well, if it were a horse race, he'd be coming up fast on the outside. I think Sean Moore has the lead. The Rocket is closing ground. Klingler and Detmer have really balanced each other up. They both have very impressive stats. The running backs, they've been a step behind all year. I think it's going to be Moore and the Rocket to the wire.
We'll find out. And in other action in the Big 8, they're calling it the game of the season. Colorado and Nebraska, they will kick off shortly. At stake, the Big 8 title and a trip to the Orange Bowl. Colorado, of course, poses the first real challenge for Nebraska, which has been criticized for having a soft schedule. Earlier today, Mike spoke to Nebraska Athletic Director Bob Devaney, who offered no apologies for that schedule.
I don't see any more reason why Virginia
should be number one than we have. They haven't played any terrific schedule either. I wouldn't say that it's a super schedule. I don't see any reason. I think after the game today with Colorado, if we beat Colorado today, I think we should be number one.
Well, if they do beat Colorado today, they have something to talk about. They've been talking all year. See, Virginia, they haven't played that great a schedule, beat Clemson, but they haven't said anything. Nebraska's been complaining all year, which is why we've taken a couple of shots at their schedule.
And you're not planning any trips to Nebraska in the near future, right? Okay, meanwhile, also today, a key matchup in the Big Ten. Both Iowa and Illinois undefeated in conference play. The winner with the inside track to the Rose Bowl. And this rivalry has really heated up this season because of Iowa's participation in the NCAA investigation into Illinois' basketball program. Out in Seattle, it's Arizona and Washington. The Huskies can clinch at least a tie for the Pac-10 title with a win over Arizona today, and they're leading in the first quarter. Out in Colorado Springs, BYU is leading Air Force 37-7. That game in the third quarter. Ty Detmer, his 20th consecutive 300-yard passing game. Later on tonight in Gainesville, it'll be number 4 Auburn and number 15 Florida. And Mike, some folks have called Auburn the luckiest team in the country because they have had more than their share, it seems like, of close calls.
I think they've been living on borrowed time for a long time. That luck you talked about, I think it ends tonight. I think Florida in Gainesville tonight will beat the Tigers by 2 touchdowns.
And that certainly would open up the SEC race. We will take a break here, and when we come back, the Texas Longhorns try to hang on to first in the Southwest Conference, and we'll check in on undefeated Wyoming. But first, a look at some other scores from around the country.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better and better. Today's Valvoline is engineered for high performance.
If there was a motor oil out there that was better, it would be in my car.
125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Yes.
Our guests are arriving. When will you be here?
Almost finished.
Okay, but hurry.
That'll do it. Got the report done for the office.
The Tandy 1000 TL2, powerful enough for business, affordable and easy enough for the whole family. Specially priced for Christmas, save $200. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
In 1896, Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays and changed the world of medicine. Those first X-ray tubes were made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens manufactures imaging technology that helps doctors save lives. And with 35,000 people nationwide, the men and women of Siemens will continue to manufacture ideas that even Professor Röntgen never dreamed of. Siemens, precision thinking.
Die-Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most. Aspen Cologne for men. Aspen, now.
Let's bring you up to date now on some Big Ten action. Number 20, Michigan, a winner today over Purdue in West Lafayette. And Mike, Purdue has really been suffering so far this season, 1-7 on the year.
And they haven't won a game in the Big Ten and really getting beaten by lopsided scores. I don't think Fred Akers is going to survive this.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Indiana continues to slide after a 4-0 start. They lost to Michigan State Spartans today. They are now 4-3-1 on the season. Out in Columbus, Ohio State is leading Northwestern in the fourth quarter. Now moving on to the Southwest Conference. Houston has been the dominant team there, but because they are on probation, the race to the Cotton Bowl is scrambled. Texas, TCU, Baylor, and Texas A&M all have a shot at the conference title. Meanwhile, Texas is down at Lubbock today playing Texas Tech, trying trying to protect their perfect conference record. And next week is going to be the biggest test for Texas as they take on Houston.
This was a big test this week because Tech has given them a lot of trouble, beating them 3 of the last 4. They have a big score to settle with Houston. Houston has embarrassed them a couple of times in the last few years. They owe them a big score. They really do.
All right, elsewhere in the Southwest Conference, down in Dallas, SMU trailing Texas A&M, that game in the 3rd quarter. Out in Fort Collins, Wyoming and Colorado State. Wyoming is on the scoreboard. Colorado State still leading 11-6. And this could be a preview of the Copper Bowl. Wyoming has been guaranteed an invitation to that bowl regardless of how they finish if they don't win the WAC. And the Copper Bowl is also looking at Colorado State as the opponent. Down in Morgantown, Penn State has beaten West Virginia. They continue to rebound from their slow 0-2 start. Penn State has now won 6 in a row. Army leads Rutgers. That game's in the 4th quarter. Quite a celebration today at West Point. More than 260 former Lettermen on hand to celebrate 100 years of Army football. And included in that group, Heisman Trophy winners Glenn Davis and Pete Dawkins. Louisville beats Cincinnati this afternoon. Louisville clinches their best season since 1972. And we will be back with more for you after a message.
By 10:30 a.m. any business day, one company will guarantee delivery of your overnight air packages to more people, places, and businesses than anyone else in the industry. UPS introduces 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. 62,000 trucks. No waiting.
What is the image of a rebel? These are the images of a rebel. Canon's revolutionary new autofocus EOS Rebel. So easy to use, you can stop taking snapshots and start taking photographs.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
They weren't expecting a 70-year-old coach, that's for sure. But I held my own.
All right, come on, come on.
They never even saw how scared I was. I wouldn't have tried for this job if it hadn't been for AARP. They've got a program that convinces employers that it's smart to hire people like me. I'm not old. People are people. Some of us have just had a little more practice. That's all.
AARP, making a difference.
Uncle Buck on how to spend a buck.
Okay, for the last time. The blue ones are a quarter, the red ones are a dime, the white ones are a nickel.
Major Dad on how to squeeze one.
You know, allowance is a great way to learn fiscal responsibility.
They're back-to-back.
Major, this is only $2.
But not eye to eye.
Where'd you get this guy?
Monday.
Hikers trapped on a steep hill with one hope for survival.
I thought we may lose this kid.
A treacherous escape from certain death on Rescue 911 Tuesday.
This was the scene at the Roman Bronze Works in New York City this week, home of the makers of the Heisman Trophy. You see the wax mold being made, and from this, a plaster cast is formed and then filled with 60 pounds of bronze. 2 Heisman trophies are made each year, and at the Heisman ceremony on December 1st, one will be presented to the winning athlete and one to his school. And Mike, those ballots go out next week.
And that trophy signifies, I think, the most prestigious and important individual award that you can win in this country. You know, you're a Heisman Trophy winner forever. It's always blank, blank, Heisman Trophy winner. It stays with you forever.
Follows
maybe
you through your life.
You know, maybe an American League or National League MVP, but the Heisman Trophy, I think, is the biggest award you can win.
Okay, we're going to send you back to Jim Nancy in Charlottesville, but first, a look at some other scores from around the country. Bye-bye.
or beauty, power or might, is the value of a good name. The springboard of integrity, self-knowledge, commitment, and esteem. A good name is to be chosen because it lasts. Virginia, a good name.
A tech man is tough, smart, and never quits. There is a great degree of determination, perseverance, confidence, and just basic tenacity that one has to have. And in the business world, that's what you need also.
At Georgia Tech, leadership is a way of life. This message presented by the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Visa honors America's Olympians, like Dr. Mark Smith of Georgia Tech and John Harkes of the University of Virginia. Today, collegiate athletes are in training for the '92 Olympics, and Visa will donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the 1992 U.S. Olympic team for their efforts in the development of our future U.S. Olympians.
Number 1 ranked Virginia leading over Georgia Tech, 28-14 at halftime. Folks, today Virginia feels it's fighting for respectability from all of you across the nation. And they talked about it.
Well, not just myself, but I think a lot of my teammates have taken the approach that, who cares what everyone thinks? Right now we're the top-ranked team in the country, and, we're going to go out each week and try to prove, that we deserve that ranking.
We work hard every week, just like Nebraska, Colorado, and Michigan, all the teams that are up there with us. And I think this game is going to, make or break us. If we go out and win, we're going to get the respect from everybody across the country, and see that Virginia's for real.
Now that we're here, we thought glory would come along with it, but all we've received is criticism.
Leading over Georgia Tech, 28-14 at halftime. Folks, today Virginia feels it's fighting for respectability from all of you across the nation. And they talked about it.
Well, not just myself, but I think a lot of my teammates have taken the approach that, who cares what everyone thinks? Right now we're the top-ranked team in the country, and, we're going to go out each week and try to prove, that we deserve that ranking.
We work hard every week, just like Nebraska, Colorado, and Michigan, all the teams that are up there with us. And I think this game is going to, make or break us. If we go out and win, we're going to get the respect from everybody across the country, and see that Virginia's for real.
Now that we're here, we thought glory would come along with it, but all we've received is criticism.
Tim Brandt, I think you've said all season long you felt Virginia was for real. In the last couple of weeks, you have felt they deserved the number 1 ranking. What have they shown you here in the first half?
They showed me Georgia Tech hadn't been able to stop them. They've had the ball 5 times. They scored all 5 times. I do believe they deserve that number 1 ranking until somebody proves that they don't. And when you talk about a soft schedule, they're playing a team now in the top 20, and they've been able to score at will.
Well, they're showing why they lead the nation in total offense and in scoring offense, but I do believe they will not gain everyone's full respect until they win on January the 1st.
I agree with you.
We'll come back for the second half after this message and a word from your local station.
Ba 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 the rubber ring. What do you think Mama's going to do when we show up?
Hopefully she'll feed us.
It's good to see, it's been too long.
One day, the most important thing in your world could be your tires. That's why Goodyear engineered the Invicta GS to help keep you in touch with the road.
I guess they're home. I miss you.
I miss you too. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Think about it. There are thousands of building products in there, so which do you ask for? Just ask for Georgia Pacific. Even if you forget that our Southern Gold plywood is double sanded for smoothness. Even if steam cured and solid lineal are Greek to you, just remember that every GP product has superior performance built in. So if ceramic coated granules or Acraglass top coat seem impossible to remember, just ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know.
This is CBS.
The thing I like about sports is every day is different.
Sports of all sorts, Sunday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Hurry into Circuit City for the spectacular City Sale and get the best values in town. Like this Magnavox 19-inch cable-ready TV with remote picture adjustment. Now just $229.97. And this JVC programmable compact disc player with incredible digital sound. Yours now for only $129.97. Hurry into the spectacular City Sale. Going on now at Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
The ratings are clear. Robert Newman is recommended. His opponent, not recommended. Make a note to yourself right now. Newman, recommended for judge.
I hunger for you.
Yeah.
No burger place could satisfy the emptiness I felt inside. But Arby's showed me food like this and filled my heart with happiness.
Yeah.
Arby's excites me like no other can. Arby's, I hunger for you.
Now for a limited time, save $1 on Arby's Roast Chicken Club. Tender roasted chicken with crisp bacon, Swiss cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes. Taste the Arby's difference.
Carol Williams, Randy Little. Because when you want to know what's really going on election night, there's only one place to turn. 9 stands for news.
Regaining weight. We're going to talk about it on the next Oprah Show.
CBS Sports coverage of today's CFA game is sponsored by Today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Georgia Pacific. When you buy building products, ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Virginia will get the football to start the second half, and their offense has not been stopped. 5 possessions, 5 scores, 3 touchdowns, and 2 field goals.
Look at the bottom statistic. Georgia Tech usually allows 252 yards a game. Already, Virginia's exceeded that.
Larry Holmes. Not what you would call a knockout of a run back by Holmes, but they're set up at the 27. Doc talked to Bobby Ross about what the defense must do.
Well, we feel like we can move the ball, China. Defensively, we've got to stop them. We've got to get more pass rush out of our kids up front. We're doing okay on first down. It's in that third down, second down, long yardage situation. We're going to go a little bit more zone. We just tell our people up front we got to get the rush out of our front 4. Try to avoid those matchups we've been getting on more. Okay.
Matchups talking about Herman Moore. And on first down, Sean Moore riding the option, fumbles the football to start out the second half. And Tech's all over it. Calvin Tiggle.
What a great play by Coleman Rudolph, number 92. Watch him ride the blocker down. He forces Moore to cut back inside before he's ready to, and then his own player's foot knocks it loose, and then Georgia Tech gets it back. It's Paul Collins, but the play was made by Coleman Rudolph.
What a break for Tech from the 28 of Virginia. Bell cutting back to the middle. Gaining 4, maybe 5. Don Reynolds on the tackle. Georgia Tech showed in that second quarter it can move the football.
Well, that's exactly right, and it's a big break defensively for Georgia Tech right away. Virginia does not turn the ball over very often, and I think everybody knows that Virginia under George Welsh is 49-6 when they're leading at the half. They don't relinquish the lead very often, but it's an opportunity here for Tech.
Double tight ends, Gaucher and Covington. Second and 4 run. Bouncing around. Bell to the 16-yard line. That is a first down for Georgia Tech.
Jim, in that first half, Bobby Ross tried to make Tech very unpredictable.
He wanted to use misdirection. He wanted to go right at Virginia at times and then use the option at other times. But right now, they've got to be dominant. They've got to come out and take the action. They've got to force the action up front. Quarterback Sean Jones gaining confidence. He ran for a touchdown and threw one in the second quarter. Well, Mike Mooney with movement and back up the Yellow Jackets.
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the offensive team. First down.
This is what we talked about. Georgia Tech in the first half. They had 15 passes, 17 running the ball. They tried to move both sides. The middle is where they tried to go and take it right after them, but they used misdirection. They tried to go in the corners, and they used the passing attack effectively. First and 15. Play action. And a completion at the 13. Greg Lester, last year's newcomer of the year in the ACC, Sean Jones, hooking up with Lester. Sean Jones almost went to college on a basketball scholarship. The very last minute said, all right, coach, I'll play football. I'll come to Georgia Tech. Second down, 5 to go. Here comes the reverse. Gilchrist. He has scored 1 touchdown, make it 2. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech scores 2 minutes, 13 seconds into the second half. You remember what we said about Virginia's defense being young and aggressive, and a lot of times they overrun the football. Look at them all running to get over there, and here comes the reverse. Now look at big number 70. That's Mooney. Takes out 2 guys, and then he just tiptoes in from there. Gilchrist, the track guy again, using that speed. But it's Mooney, the 316-pounder, that took out 2 players with 1 block and opened up that corner.
Here's another demonstration of Chevy versus Ford. We're loading up these full-size pickups with recyclables. The Chevy has a standard payload advantage of over 400 pounds.
That's a pile of payload the Ford leaves behind.
No wonder so many truck owners recycle their trucks for Chevys. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
I have a headache. I have a bad headache. I can't think. I can't concentrate. I feel pain.
Today, Michael Farbstein is trying extra-strength Tylenol gel caps. For pain like his, why take aspirin or ibuprofen when nothing works better than Tylenol gel caps?
My headache is 100% gone. I feel great. I can think. I can concentrate. I can do what I have to do. Tylenol gel caps really did the job.
Tylenol gel caps, only from Tylenol. For everyday pain, nothing works better.
If you choose to finance or lease your new GM vehicle someplace other than GMAC, you might find yourself waiting in line instead of out hugging one. GMAC. Nobody wants to put you and GM quality on the road faster.
Georgia Tech turns a turnover into a touchdown. Everybody ought to come up and shake that guy's hand right there. That's Mike Mooney. Let's take you now and show you the touchdown. Here's Mooney right here. Just watch him now as they start the play. It's going to be a reverse. Gilchrist, number 8, at the bottom of the screen is going to get it. But watch 70, Mooney, 316-pounder. He's going to take out both these guys and open up this whole lane right here for Gilchrist. Watch this. 316 pounds. He's playing with a broken finger. Didn't know if he was even going to play today. Big guy like that, and as mobile as he is, you know he's a tennis player. Mixed double state champion, won it. 316 pounds. Made a double block on that one. Larry Holmes. 35-yard line. Tomorrow, 12:30, the NFL Today. Terry Bradshaw is going to tell us who he'd rather throw to, Lynn Swann or Jerry Rice.
You know which one I'd throw to? The open guy.
Yeah. San Francisco and Green Bay. Regional coverage tomorrow, folks. You'll get one of these games coming your way. And even late, Chicago at Tampa Bay. Some of you will see that game. But it all starts with the last word before kickoff at 12:30. Moore with pressure. Marco Coleman, that's no surprise. He was the man who knocked down Sean Moore.
His dad played at Georgia Tech, then played with the Pats and the Dolphins, so he was raised in a football family, understands it. He's a good player, 250 pounds, moves very, very well. He's named after Tonto Coleman, who was a Tech coach.
Second down and 10. Terry Kirby set up 3rd and 4 for Georgia Tech. Tiggle with the fumble recovery as well here in the 3rd quarter. That moved Tech within 7 after the Gilchrist score.
I'd be looking for Marco Coleman right now, the heat seeker, ACC's leading sacker.
3rd down 4. Wide open. Derek Dooley. Look at him fight to the 42-yard line. A gain of 26.
He's made 18 catches in 22 attempts. He's a walk-on. Great understanding of the game. Not an overly talented guy, but he just seems to use all of his abilities. Has that knack to get open. He doesn't have the great speed of some receivers, but he knows how to find a crease. He's a seam seeker.
His father won a national championship 10 years ago, 1980 at Georgia. Coach Vince Dooley. Now his son going for one a decade later. Barry Kirby, they're keeping him up the middle. That was to the 40-yard line. Marlon Williams tackled him. Now 6 straight wins for Penn State. Joe Paterno's son, Jay, is a graduate assistant on the coaching staff at Virginia. On the sidelines today. 2nd and 7 for the Cavs. Intended for Aaron Mundy. Ken Swilling was in on the coverage and no interference call.
That's a good no call. See, Virginia's starting to now referee. They want to get in this thing. They wanted a call here, but watch the timing. Here comes Swilling, just knocks it away as he reaches back around him. There was no contact there. It's a great play by the safety, Swilling.
Third down, 7 to go. Moore across the middle. And a first down for Virginia. Gain of 11.
Want to see where Sean Moore's throwing the football? Watch this. 1 for 1 in that level, 2 for 2 in the middle, 2 for 2 on the right. Then he comes underneath, and he's just as accurate there. He's having a fine day as you look at the breakdown, the levels, the various levels and quadrants of the football field. That time, Herman Moore just worked his way in between the linebacker and safety.
Stepping back now, looking for Dooley in the end zone.
I can't understand how receivers are getting behind a deep zone. Actually, it was a combination defense. They were blitzing on one side, playing man to the right. They were playing zone to the left, and there must have been a miscommunication. That's just how close it was to being a touchdown. Dooley laid out, had the ball in his hands, and couldn't reel it back in.
Second down, 10. Tackle to pick up the first down, I believe. Yes, a gain of 11. He shook free from Keith Holmes, and instead of 3rd and 3, it's a first down for Virginia. Scott Stadium, Charlottesville, they've announced it now. It is the all-time crowd here, 49,700. 28-21, the #1 team in America being pushed now. First down, however, on the drive. Dave Sweeney picks up a yard.
The skeptics are going to have a major answer to their question here in this ball game, because the Cavaliers have won all 7 of their games by an average score of 48-11. Now, as you mentioned, they're being tested here, and how they respond to that test is going to be a big indicator to all the skeptics that want to know how good Virginia really is.
9:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Second down, 9 to go. Here comes Tech. It's Tiggle. Right off the hands of Nicky Fisher. Sean Moore had so much time, he went to one of his last options, Nicky Fisher.
First of all, Georgia Tech brought the heat. A lot of pressure up front. Moore didn't have a good throw, although it should have been caught. Watch this. This is a catchable pass. Almost hits him in the face mask. Now, Georgia Tech's playing that zone that Bobby Ross told us about. So they're giving ground. Rubber band technique. Bend but don't break. That time they were patient. They got the break on the tip, and they're back in business.
They can drive and score a touchdown to tie this game. Tiggle with a fumble recovery and an interception in this quarter. Big fake. Jones keeps and picks up 7. Into the Virginia side of the field at the 45-yard line. You know, though, Moore had enough time on that pass. He didn't want to go to Fisher because everyone knew, the word is out, that Fisher does not have good hands.
The coaches told us that. They were brutally honest about it.
Second down, 3 to go for Tech. Inside, first down run. William Bell picks up the first, just inside of the 40. And let's join the Dockster, John Dockery.
You know, Jim, the Georgia Tech offensive coaches have been talking all afternoon about finding the left defensive end, Chris Slade. Find him, neutralize him, because he's got so much speed. If you're running away, he's running down plays. If you notice on that reverse before for the touchdown, they ran, actually, the ball ended up away from Slade. He's the guy they're worried about.
And for the second time today, the wounded Daryl Jenkins, he fought to get back into this game. A young man who lost his father in the Vietnam War. He says he keeps him with him all the time. Pictures and everything. I know he's watching, and I'm just striving to please him. He fought to get back into the game. He still may come back. Incomplete on first down, intended for Covington.
When you play with confidence, you can take chances, gamble, get away with it. If you're tentative, you end up playing off balance.
you get burnt. Right now, Georgia Tech's playing with a lot of confidence, something they really didn't have early in this ball game. Didn't have any in the first quarter. It grew a little bit in the second quarter. Now they're playing with a great deal of confidence, and you can see the difference. Second down 10. Bell to the 34-yard line. 3rd and 5 coming up.
William Bell on the ball. Number 31.
What do they do here, Tim? 3rd and 5. Well, number one, you know, they want to get Jones on that corner. You want to let him throw, but you want the ability to run as well. He can't hear. Play clock has expired. There is no flag. They didn't drop the flag, but they did drop the penalty. They're going to take him back 5. I think Bobby's right. He's got to have the opportunity for his players to hear him. Now it's 3rd and 10. Drop pass. Emmett Merchant. Would have had the first. And the Georgia Tech coaching staff in the press box. Anguished as the penalty knocked them out of field goal range. Aldridge to punt. Does his job with great efficiency inside of the 5, down it at the 4. Scott Travis is there to down it. Virginia leading by 7.
Pour it on, work it out. If you're talking about sports, that's what it's all about. So pump it up, pump it out, pour it on and work it out.
Because after working out, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Talking about Coors Light, it's the right beer now. Pour it on and work it out.
It's back! The Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast is back! More pepperoni and extra cheese for only $7.99. And another one for just $4 more. But only for a limited time.
Domino's Pizza.
Call now.
Domino's Pizza.
Tomorrow morning, experience a new high. Introducing Mountain Fresh Dial with a scent so big, so bold, so bracing, it's right up there with your peak experiences. New Mountain Fresh Dial.
Jim Fox.
It's time. Mike Bell.
Time.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Debbie? Huh?
AC Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
Buckle up, Beverly Hills. Hey! Eddie Murphy is back to take care of business.
How long would it take to shave those legs anyway?
The box office blockbuster Beverly Hills Cop 2 tonight.
A moment moment ago, there was a key play, a delay of game penalty against the Georgia Tech offense, as Sean Jones made an appeal to the back judge, and he pointed back to the line of scrimmage. Tim, explain that to the folks.
Well, he looked back at the referee, and he wanted the crowd noise rule, but that rule has been changed this year. No longer does it involve the wide receivers. You can't claim your wide receivers can't hear you. The new rule states from that center, it's only 7 yards out on both sides. If they can hear you from 7 yards out of that center, then you've got to run the play, and the referee told him to run the play.
Steele and Fisher in the backfield. First down, Virginia. Nicky Fisher runs into Battle and Rudolph.
You know, one other thing that essentially stopped that drive? That penalty, the coaches up here in the booth that are right next to us were yelling down on the sidelines, trying to get everybody's attention to call timeout. They knew the rule. They wanted Sean to call timeout.
Darren Lewis in the Heisman race. He's the all-time rusher in the Southwest Conference. Over 200 today. And 4 touchdowns. Second down, 8 to go. Gary Steele knocked out at the 9. It'll set up 3rd and 5. Here's where this famous Georgia Tech defense needs to make the hold. Stop them here, you set up your offense right back on the same side of the field.
And you know what? Every one of the specialty coaches at Georgia Tech's yelling out at their guys. They want the outside folks to contain. They want the inside pressure from the down men. If they go to a zone, make sure you're in that hook zone and keep your head on a swivel, looking for anybody coming into that area.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 3rd and 5. Kirby dropped it.
That's an incomplete pass.
Dropped the shuffle pass. Incomplete. And Virginia will punt. Would have easily had the first.
You know, the fans here thought that was a fumble. He recovered it. They thought they had the first. That's an incompleted pass.
Ed Garno to punt for the first time today. 44-yard average. McGill waits at midfield. The snap comes from Bill Curry Jr., the son of Coach Bill Curry. Good punt by Garno. And McGill races to the 46 of Virginia. 47-yard punt, 10-yard return. Momentum seems to be shifting.
I'm State Farm agent Jeff Libby. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is helping young parents, people who are just beginning to understand what life insurance is all about. Young couples don't need a sales talk. They just need to talk to someone who understands them and their life insurance needs. Now, I know what that promise of security means, and I don't believe there's a better promise a parent can make.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
By 10:30 a.m. any business day, one company will guarantee delivery of your overnight air packages to more people, places, and businesses than anyone else in the industry. UPS introduces 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. 62,000 trucks. No waiting.
Getting to know you. Geo Metro XFI. That's the best mileage you can get. This car can make a difference. Runs clean. I know I'd breathe a lot easier. And it's so affordable. It'll let me see more of the world. I like where this is going. Getting to know you.
Now's the time to get to know the Geo Metro XFI at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Monday.
There's no coffee!
Life is tense at FYI, and Murphy's mom is no help.
Do you have other clothes? My hat.
And all new Murphy Brown.
That's number 70, Bill Curry Jr., who just snapped on the long punt and was in on the tackle. And I'm with number 50, his proud father, Bill Curry, the coach. Coach, mixed allegiance today. You did coach at Georgia Tech. Your son is on Virginia.
Well, I've got children on both teams. I recruited, or our staff recruited 15 of these Tech players, and then my own flesh and blood's on the other side. So it's a strange situation, but a great football game. And I'm glad Billy finally got in the game so his mom can calm down a little bit.
You know, we're going to go back up to Jim Nantz for a moment, and then we'll come back down so you can stick with us. Jimmy?
Well, Billy snaps it, and that's the first time today they've had the punt. That's why he finally got in. Kentucky is off this week. That's why Coach Curry is here. First down for Georgia Tech. William Bell for a short gain and back to the Dockster.
You know, Bill, why Virginia for young Billy?
Well, my wife's a history scholar, a PhD, and she's a Thomas Jefferson person. Our daughter went to school here and graduated, and Billy just gravitated in that. And of course, it's a great institution and a great football program.
Number one, let me put you on the spot. Are they the number one team in college football?
Well, we'll have to see today, but they're up against a great football team. Bobby Ross has done a great job at Tech, and I think this is going to be a tremendous test, but I think they're getting a chance to show that they can do it, and we'll find out in these last 2 quarters here.
Well, we just saw a running play. I just want to ask you one quick last question. You left Alabama, you're at Kentucky. How is it going?
It's a wonderful program. It's a terrific situation. C.M. Newton has built a quality family environment for all of us to work in, and Rick Pitino and I are blessed to be the coaches at this time. And it's working out fine. A little slow, but we're getting there.
I know there were some tough moments at Alabama. We miss seeing you, Coach. Back up to you, Jim Nantz. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see Coach Curry. A big 3rd and 2 here for Georgia Tech. Inside 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Trailing by 7 from the Virginia 38. Can they move the chains? Well, they may have to measure first. William Bell got the run. Don Reynolds ran him down.
I don't think he got it.
No, he didn't. Where they spotted, he's a yard short. 4th and a yard to go.
Players want to go. Bobby Ross looks like he's going to go. He's holding back the punting team.
He brings in Stephen Scotton, his starting fullback, and here's the big play to this point. Going for it on 4th and a yard.
They're going to have to call a timeout. Play clock got all the way down to 8 seconds, and they still weren't sure what the play was.
So they get their timeout with 5:04 left in the 3rd quarter. Kind of interesting to note that Virginia has not lost a game in November since 1986. And when it lost in '86, Maryland was the team that beat them. It was Bobby Ross. Bobby Ross at Maryland, his last game as the coach of the Terrapins.
Bobby Ross has had great success here. We were talking to the coaches just prior to the game during warm-ups, and they said, hey, this is still Virginia. They really firmly believe that they could beat Virginia because at Maryland they had so much success. Over the last 20 years, Maryland's 17-3 against Virginia.
That was Frank Spaziano, the defensive coordinator from Virginia. Former Penn State player.
I think we should qualify that too by saying this is not the same Virginia team people are used to seeing. They're 19-2 in Scott Stadium over the past 3 years. They haven't lost at home since 1988 when Clemson bit them 10-7.
Crowd coming to its feet, building to a frenzy on this 4th and 1 play for Georgia Tech. First down to the 34-yard line, William Bell. Yusef Jackson made the tackle, and he is hurt.
Watch the right tackle and the tight end. They're the ones that make this play go. Watch their blocks. They lock on, they move out. Scotton takes out the other player, and there they go. They've got the first down. Well executed, well designed play.
Appears to be fine.
Got another concerned dad here. Jesse Jackson comes to all the home games. Makes his way down to the locker room after the game. Watching his son come off. Appears to be all right.
Yellow Jackets on the move. And there is one, folks, believe me, there's one in the booth right now that's buzzing around here. What does that mean?
I don't know, but don't get him angry.
This group's angry, I'll tell you that. Here they come again. Sean Jones picking up about 7. There's a big Yellow Jacket. 2nd down, 3. The man is open. It's Merchant. He holds on. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Sisson to tie the game. Count it, 28-28 late in the 3rd quarter.
Merchant is the leading receiver, but watch the young sophomore. Great play fake. Now looks at his first receiver, doesn't like him, and then finds Merchant down the middle behind the safety, McMeans. And look at the catch. McMeans hits him on contact. Legal play, good hit, but the concentration of Merchant. Look at this. And then makes the catch. You mentioned Lynn Swann earlier. That's reminiscent of a Lynn Swann type catch. Great concentration by Emmett Merchant, the junior.
Maybe tomorrow in the NFL Today, Terry will explore whether he'd rather throw to Lynn Swann, Jerry Rice, or Emmett Merchant. Let's add him to the list.
Talked about the success Virginia had on offense. They scored on all 5 of their possessions, 5 for 5 early on. Now Georgia Tech has scored on 4 of its last 6 possessions. It's that confidence factor we talked about. You gamble more, you take chances, and you succeed when you're confident.
Up here in the booth, the Georgia Tech coaching staff that resides in the press box, they are only a plexiglass piece away from us, and they almost knocked it down. They saw Merchant open before the pass was released.
Terry Strzok, the wide receiver coach, and Ralph Friedgen, the offensive coordinator.
Larry Holmes from the 4. America's #1 team is in a fight. In fact, they are tied 28-28 in the 3rd quarter. Scott Travis on the special teams tackle, and you have to say, as composed as Virginia was early, shouldering all of that pressure coming in, they have been rattled here in the 3rd, starting with an opening play fumble by Sean Moore, later an interception that went through the hands of Nicky Fisher. It was really not Moore's fault. Sean Moore improvising out to the 28-yard line.
You got to hear it. They could have called us back there. I know they could have called it though. Okay, you got to get out. Got to get out.
he got a break. He said, hey, they could have called us for that back there. You've got to watch it. So they got away with something, and the coach knows it.
2nd down and 3 to go. It's 2nd and 3. Open man with the knee down. I didn't hear him call it. Now they have. Terrence Tomlin made the catch with his right knee on the turf. Can't get up after that, Terrence, but it's a catch and a 1st down for Virginia.
See, Tomlin's laughing. Watch this. Here's behind the action. It's the play action pass. They come down the line and he fires. Now the cornerback's playing soft. Okay, now watch Tomlin. He's laughing because the ball gets stripped by Day. And Georgia Tech thinks they have it. And then Tomlin says, hey, the whistle blew. Come on, let me out of here. It's over. Bottom line is Georgia Tech has 2 turnovers this half. They're trying for more.
1st down play. Fake the reverse. Looking for Herman Moore. Herman Moore's got a step on Swilling. He's got the ball and a touchdown for Virginia. To Herman Moore. McInerney adds the extra point, and Herman Moore has now caught a touchdown in 10 straight games.
And what's even more impressive about that touchdown is you had one of the best going against another one of the best. Herman Moore, an outstanding receiver, going against Ken Swilling. He was a Thorpe Award candidate, just like Truck Wilburn, supposed to be an All-American. Herman Moore gets the best here. Now Swilling's playing on a bad ankle, but Moore's definitely behind him and makes the catch. The best going against the best, and Moore wins.
Here's the run back to the 27-yard line. Again, the NFL today, tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern time, and we have regional coverage coming your way. Big list of games. By the way, Dan Fouts will be talking about that in the grass rule. He's up in arms about that. That'll be coming up on the last word before kickoff. And here's what we'll kick to. San Francisco at Green Bay to Minnie. Cowboys at the Jets. Late, some will see Chicago, Tampa. Fakes left, pitches it right. William Bell runs into one of his blockers at the 35-yard line. A gain of 8.
Give Jim Lavin credit for that tackle. And he plays for Georgia Tech, took his own guy, but he was trying to get out to get a block. With that last touchdown for Virginia, they set a new ACC scoring record, 372 points. That's why I was a little bit perplexed when some of the so-called prognosticators said expect a low-scoring defensive battle. Too many big play guys here.
2nd down, 2 to go. Bell darts near the 1st down. Give it to him. 1st down, Georgia Tech. That's an ACC scoring record for most points in a season, eclipsing North Carolina State back in '73. team averaging just shy of 50 points a game. Virginia. Georgia Tech staying with them. Down 7 at the moment. 1st and 10. And a first down at the 45 of Virginia. That's Brent Goolsby, a 4th team split in with a 17-yard catch. And we go to John Dockery.
You know, Jim, an interesting roller coaster of emotion along the Virginia sidelines. That last time Virginia defense blew it, the free safety Keith McMeans came off the field. George Welsh was right in his face, chewing him out. Then he sat down. Defensive coordinator Frank Spaziano gave him a pep talk. Hey, this is when you find out how good you are, whether you're number 1 or not, and you learn about your medal, guys. Now go and do it. And that's what they're trying to do on defense right now.
Georgia Tech's moving. However, to the short side, Bell gets 3. P.J. Killian on the tackle. You see Jenkins, number 66, he's back in there.
Been playing with a neck, shoulder, back, and leg injury. Here's another guy. We talked about Mooney being 316 pounds, a tennis player. Jenkins is 280. He was drafted by the Phillies as a baseball player. So they're not only big, but they're agile, very versatile guys.
2nd down 7. A minute to go in the 3rd. Faking right now, pitching it over. Covington has it. A short gain as McMeans wraps him up. It's a good tackle, otherwise he may have had the 1st and more. That gray weather out in the Rockies today. Let's get an update out there with Andrea Joyce.
All right, Jim, Wyoming trying to protect its unbeaten record. The Cowboys were driving, but Jade Dapper fumbled on the 5. Colorado State's Harlan Carroll recovered in the end zone for the touchback. The Rams lead 11-8 with less than 3 to play in the game. Let's go back to Charlottesville.
Big play here, 3rd and 3 from the Virginia 38-yard line. Throwing for it and getting it at the 30. Still on his feet. It's Lester. Look at Lester go to the 17-yard line.
Flag in the secondary. And I believe it's going to be against Virginia. Looked like Tony Covington, who's very bravado and confident, cocky, got a lot of self-confidence in himself. He took a shot here. Watch the end of this. Here's the play itself. Lester makes a good move, sees a blocker coming from the inside, goes around him. Watch this. Here comes his blocker, set him up, boom. Now come back in and look for a crease. There's the crease, and finally takes it from behind. But then came the penalty when Tony Covington got a little bit frisky in the secondary and threw a punch. It is against Virginia.
McMeans is down on the sideline.
Well, you hate to see that. You hate to see anybody get hurt.
Personal foul on the defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down and 10.
So let's talk very quickly about 2 things. First of all, McMeans, who's an All-American free safety, now comes out. So there's going to be a weak spot in the middle. Covington will have to move over and take that safety spot. Then the other thing is the penalty, which was a stupid play by Tony Covington, moves the ball down inside the 10. You can't let your emotions take over in a game like this. Emotions break your concentration. Got to maintain your poise.
Keith Lyle was in the secondary as well for Virginia. This is closing seconds of the 3rd. 1st and goal, Georgia Tech. William Bell. Wow. Driving in, score it, touchdown, Georgia Tech. Seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Scott Sisson to tie it again. 21 points in this quarter for Georgia Tech. What a score. 35 all.
Jim, a couple of things to watch here. First of all, 17 is Tom Covington. Watch the job he does to get a block and kick out Covington. Okay, now watch this. Boom, just take on Keith Lyle, 25. He's just a freshman. Keith Lyle is the guy that just came in to replace the All-American McMeans, and he just got driven into the end zone.
The gridiron glory of the Atlantic Coast Conference is legendary. And that same winning attitude prevails in the classroom. ACC teams have dominated the prestigious College Football Association Academic Achievement Award, taking the top spot 6 years in the 10-year history of this honor. Academic excellence, the true measure of collegiate competition. This message presented by the Atlantic Coast Conference.
ACC standings prior to today, Virginia and Georgia Tech. Yes, everyone knows this game was essentially for the ACC championship and much larger stakes. North Carolina with just a loss and a tie, not officially out of it. They'll kick it. And football is returned. It will end the quarter. Washington to the 22-yard line, and that will close out the third. We've got a fourth quarter shootout in store for you. Nation's #1 team is in all kinds of trouble. What a game it's been. Our coverage will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
They'll get you noticed. Norelco Lift and Cut Shavers for a new level of closeness and comfort. And by Allstate for home, auto, life, and business insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate.
We are tied at 35-35 here in a wild and woolly game. 28 points scored in that third quarter. Decimation at free safety for Virginia. That's Keith McMeans. He came out of the game with bruised ribs. His replacement, Covington, is hobbling along the sidelines. You see his right shoe is off. There's problems with his right leg. So real problems, Jim and Tim, for Virginia at free safety.
I'd say so, Doc, because that means Keith Lyle, who's just a freshman, comes into that safety spot. He's the guy we saw get bowled over into the end zone on that last touchdown.
We start the final quarter tied at 35. Virginia has it first down at its 22. Terry Kirby on the run. And the two-sport star picks up about 9. Ken Swilling on the tackle. When do you start recruiting a talent like Terry Kirby? He got his first letter from West Virginia when he was in the 8th grade. Shortly thereafter, he got his first phone call by a college coach. Was
Lefty Frizzell.
Right, basketball at Maryland. Second and short. Sweeney straight ahead, and the first down for Virginia. Kirby scored 18 points in a game against North Carolina last basketball season. He's lined up in the eye on first down. Moore with pressure. Double coverage to Herman Moore. Interception, Willie Clay.
Going to say he didn't have it. They're going to say it was incomplete, hit the ground. Watch it again. It's double coverage on Herman Moore. Herman sees these two guys and actually splits them with his long stride. Watch him come through the two of them and gets by. But the ball's underthrown. And here comes Willie Clay with what he thought was the interception. Well, you can't. I didn't see it hit the ground from that angle.
But his body blocked the view. So let's check another angle now.
All right, this angle we'll be able to see the ball a little bit better. He lays out, has the ball. Boy, that ball is in his right hand. He's got it. That should be an interception.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10, and they run it with Kirby. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. It certainly looked like an interception for Willie Clay. But holding will back up the Cavaliers.
Boy, I agree. Willie Clay had that football. He's their best cover guy. Wide side of the field, strength of formation. They've got him double covered. Actually takes it away from Swilling. He's got the ball in his hands right there. Now he raises it right there with his right hand, and you can see the continuation of his right arm brings it right up. That's a pick. Virginia just got a big break.
Second down and 20 it will be for Virginia because of the holding penalty.
You know what? I think that the back judge today has had some problems with his receivers. He's being outrun.
Not easy to keep up with Herman Moore.
No, it's not.
Jerry Gilchrist. Another flag.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure, interior lineman moving. Offense. Second down.
Second down and 25 it will be. 13:20 left in the game.
This will drive George Welsh nuts. I mean, they're going the wrong direction.
Shuffle pass to Kirby. He holds on this time, but they converge and down him at the 25. Calvin Tiggle makes the tackle, and Tiggle is having a big second half.
That was an outstanding play because Tiggle went back into the zone looking for the pass, and when he saw it was the little shuffle pass, the safe pass up into the middle, just sat down right there, waited, knew they had a long way to go to get that first. He was going to give a little ground, but make sure he was under control and make that tackle.
Third down, 19. No heat. Moore gets it away, and he's got his man short of the first. Tried to get there, but Johnny Wilson had the reception. Willie Clay makes the tackle, the saving tackle.
That's why they put him to the wide side of the field. Strength of formation. He's a talented pass defender. Best cover guy they've got, and he can make up ground with his speed.
So Johnny Wilson tried to cut it up the far sideline, but Willie Clay, who had the interception taken away, stops him short. Fourth down, 3. Garneau with pressure gets it away. McGill down at the 28-yard line. Chris Slade made the tackle. Now, this is the first time Georgia Tech has the football with the game tied. We'll be right back. 800 yards worth. Sean Moore has rushed for 3 touchdowns and threw 1 to Herman Moore. Georgia Tech scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter. Here's the secondary for Virginia. Who's back out there, Tim?
The only one that's not back is Covington. So Greg Jeffries, number 17 there to the bottom left of your screen, comes in to replace Covington, number 5 right there. But McMeans is back. Lewis and Wallace are in.
Tech from its 28. Stephen Scotton, the lone back. Scotton gets the carry, leans to the 32-yard line. It's update time, America, so let's send you back to New York and Andrea Joyce.
All right, Jim, it looks like Wyoming might have to say goodbye to its perfect season with 1:41 left to play on 3rd and 17. Eric Tippecanoe with a big interception for the Rams. He takes it 33 yards for the touchdown. Just under a minute to go. The Rams have the ball back, and they are in the lead. Now, in the Big 8, the showdown in Lincoln, Nebraska leading in the second quarter. Back to Charlottesville.
Second down, 6 for Georgia Tech from its 31. Overthrows Lester. 3rd and 6 coming up. What a big win that is today for Earl Bruce at Colorado State. He hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but he's turned the Rams program around, and the folks out in Columbus, Ohio ran him off a couple of years ago. He's proven he can coach.
See Sean Jones there saying, that's my fault, my fault. Didn't set his feet. That was overthrown because of poor footwork. Plus, he's throwing right from the top of the crown of this field, so the receiver's running downfield. He overthrew and knew it was his fault.
11 minutes left. 3rd and 6, Georgia Tech. An emphatic fake and a sideline pass And a catch by Emmett Merchant. It's a foot race. Merchant scores, but wait a minute. Hold on a minute. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Right on the Georgia Tech sideline. No touchdown. Merchant made the grab, and they say he stepped out at the 42 of Virginia.
Well, we'll get a look at it right here. Jones may have overthrown the last receiver, but he puts this one right where he has to. His receiver goes up and gets it. Now watch Merchant. See if he steps on that line. Well, the official's right there. He's got the view, so what do you think?
He's out. He's out by a hangnail, by a toenail.
The official's right on it. You almost can't say anything about that. How about Georgia Tech? What confidence they're playing with. They've scored 5 touchdowns on their last 7 possessions.
And at the most inopportune time, the Georgia Tech communications have come down again.
You see Ralph Friedgen, the offensive coordinator there in the middle to the left hand of your screen. He just changed headsets. This is Terry Strock, the wide receiver coach on this side. So the communication breaking down again on the headsets, and Virginia will have to take theirs off too if they don't get it fixed. Wearing a headset that he had to switch. The offensive coordinator up here, Ralph Friedgen in the middle, had to switch. So communications, I think, are back, but they're still screwy.
First down, William Bell. Really surging in the second half, inside of the 30 to the 29. That's first down yardage after a 13-yard carry.
This is a look from the strong safety spot. 17 is Jeffries. Nothing fancy about that. They just got to the corner, kicked out Slade, and brought it up in the middle. Slade's gotten soft here in the second half for some reason. They moved him right out of there. He's got to come up, make contact, and close it down.
10 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. The #1 team in the country is tied, and Georgia Tech's threatening to go in for the lead. William Bell to the 24-yard line. Yusef Jackson back in the game after an earlier injury. He made the tackle.
Welsh looks pretty composed, pretty calm, doesn't he, for what's taking place? #1 ranking, ACC championship. Virginia holds the nation's longest regular season win streak.
And his team has not been in a game like this all year. Not had to react to this situation.
Not even close. Matter of fact, Sean Moore sat out 3 times in the 4th period.
Second down, 5 to go. Bell dropped for a loss. P.J. Killian and Joe Hall.
Right of your screen, Hall and Killian, the penetration and the support. Killian came late. Hall got there first. It's a good thing Killian did come because Hall lost him a little bit. There's Big Joe Hall.
Third down and 9 from the 28. Quarterback draw with Jones. It works. First down, Georgia Tech.
Sean Jones on the quarterback draw.
Virginia had success with this play earlier. We told you Welsh saw it on television watching some pro football. Bobby Ross may have gotten this from Virginia watching them in the first half. Here comes Jones, runs it up, tucks it inside, almost breaks it the whole way. I'll tell you what, if Bell had gotten that block on the safety, he is gone.
From the 16, first down, Jackets. Bell, maybe a yard is all. Hall and Killian on the tackle.
That's 2 major plays by Joe Hall. That time again he was in the backfield and made contact, took the play out of sync, slowed them up, took them out of their rhythm. Very quick, experienced senior.
A few months from now, when you look back at the 1990 college football season, this game will be remembered as one of the games of the year. Bell. Nothing. Under 8 minutes crowd at Scott Stadium. The longest win streak here in school history, 12 straight at Scott Stadium, but it's all in danger right now.
Here we go, Hoods. Go Hoods.
3rd and 9 for the Ramblin' Wreck. Out of the end zone.
Yeah, kick him out. Go at it.
They'll still have a chance to take the lead with Scott Sisson. This will be about 32 yards on the field goal attempt. He is 10 for 16 on the season. .7:22 left. Stacy Parker will snap it to the holder, Scott Aldridge. And then it's up to Scott Sisson to give Tech the lead. 33 yards. He splits the sticks, and the Ramblin' Wreck takes the lead.
I was going to say he sure looked cool on that, but then I saw the close-up of his face.
Can Virginia answer?
Just a reminder, proper maintenance with AC Delco parts can significantly reduce premature wrinkles. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
On Wall Street, fortunes are won and lost and won again before 10:30. Amid the halls of ivy, the best ideas often come and go before 10:30. And on the back lots of Hollywood, love often blooms and fades before 10:30. Which is why Federal Express delivers before 10:30 at more places around the country than anyone else. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
The next time you experience headaches, backaches, nausea, and sleepless nights, there is one way to get relief fast. GMAC. We make financing and leasing your new GM vehicle painless. His little girl is kidnapped and buried alive. Peter Strauss and Robert Urich, based on a true story. 83 Hours Till Dawn, Sunday.
Getting some blimp shots from the Shamu blimp, the great whale from SeaWorld. You know, they don't get too many occasions where the blimp gets to fly above Scott Stadium. It's like a fish out of water.
Shamu's not a fish, it's a mammal.
I knew you were going to tell me that. But you're right again. Virginia has all 3 timeouts left and a half or a quarter to go.
That's a very important aspect that you just mentioned, the timeout situation. Also, this is the first time Virginia has trailed in the 4th quarter this year. How they respond is critical.
Pins him in the corner a bit. It's Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes on the return, and he fights out to the 28. A good run back. Let's go down to John Dockery.
You know, Jim, during the time Virginia didn't have the ball, I tracked the Moore boys, Herman and Shaw, on the sidelines, and they spent a lot of time together. Interesting, Herman did a lot of the talking about patterns he might run, but Sean was very mature, very relaxed, very confident. Right before he went back in the game, he got up, he threw about 4 or 5 passes, just said to his teammates, hey, let's go, guys. Now's the time to show what we can do.
Will they charge? It's Kirby juking around and picking up about 6. Kevin Battle roughing him up a bit.
Okay, that was all taking place in the middle outside. Mark Cook, the tight end, was in the slot, and he moved. Georgia Tech wanted a flag, but he reset. He's got that option. He can reset without a penalty. He did 1 full second before the snap. Good no call.
6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Down a field goal. Sean Moore hands it to Kirby. And Kirby easily has the first down to the 42-yard line. He's over 100 yards and ties Barry Ward's record for 5 straight 100-yard rushing games at Virginia. Now under 6 minutes left. First down for Virginia. They've run it and set up the pass for this play. Herman Moore. Herman Moore to the 40. Gets the block. Here he goes. Herman Moore to the 20. And down at the 6.
He's special. 8 catches, 229 yards, a career high. Here he slides under the cover. See him between the linebackers, underneath the safety. Now watch how he utilizes his blocker here. Get up, feint to the left, go to the right, then it's a foot race. Balcom finally catches him. He's the leader back there in that secondary, but a big play by Herman Moore. You saw his talents that time. And look at the other Moore.
There's a flag on the back end of this. Maybe some unnecessary roughness. One reason Sean Moore was signaling for his teammates to get back. He said, hey, we don't want to get involved in anything here. We don't need a penalty against us. We're inside of the 10 as it is. They throw the flag on.
Unsportsmanlike on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down and about 5.
All right, it's going to be on Balcom, 43. Here's the tackle. They take him out of bounds. But it's what happens out of bounds. He doesn't release him, throws him back down. That'll bring the laundry out of the pockets every time.
That's frustration after you got burnt.
Although it wasn't Balcom who got burnt. They were in his zone, came underneath, hit the seam. He's a seam seeker, and then finally broke it big. Balcom saved the play, but then hurt him badly by staying with it and getting the flag.
First and goal from the 5. Moore gets away and hurdles to the 2.
Everybody can feel the tension on the field and off.
Sweeney, Kirby, and Fisher. Full house backfield. Second and goal. Trying to take the lead. Fisher.
Didn't get it.
Kevin Battle stopped them inches shy.
Shield. Let's go, Jake. Get Willie right out.
Against Clemson this year, Georgia Tech had a goal line stand at this point of the football game and held on to beat the Tigers 21-19.
The critical guy is the guy in the middle, Kevin Battle. He's got to penetrate. He has got to take Riles and knock him into the backfield right now.
Didn't get it. Darrell Williams hit him high.
Watch the push on the line from Battle. Already he's back past the line of scrimmage. Now the linebacker's Phil, and he can't get over the top. Look at that, Phil. Because of the pile up down low, he had to start his jump earlier and came up short of the goal line. That's when we talk about Kevin Battle. If he pushes back, that means this guy right here, Fisher, has to start his jump earlier. And if the linebackers do their job and come up and meet him up top, he's not going to make it.
2nd and goal, and there are going to be plenty of flags here. You know, the penalty against Balcom moved the football to the 5, and at that point I thought it was 1st and goal from the 5. But they've said that the original line of scrimmage then was outside of the 10, moving Virginia inside of the 1 and a new set of downs.
Oh, we gotta go. We gotta get out of the whistle. Second. Here goes 2 and 8.
Now things change dramatically. See, the brain trust on both sides know that too. This actually could be a break on 2nd down. It gives more room to operate. And I guarantee you he's either going to hit the corner or throw a pass here.
I'd still rather have it up tight. But he's dangerous here. And there's a man, Herman Moore, a yard short. Right back to where they were.
Get Willie, play out. Willie, play out. Get him.
It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
You're playing defense, you know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to come to that corner like that, and he's going to try to get it to the big guy on the corner. Again, using that height. The only thing that saved that play in my mind is the fact that Herman Moore stumbled when he got down near the 1.
2:53 to go. 3rd and goal from the 1. Back across, wide open. Aaron Mundy, touchdown Virginia.
There's a flag.
There is a flag. No touchdown. This will back Virginia.
Procedure on the offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
Boy, what a critical error. Somebody's not paying attention. They mess up the formation and get 6 down on the line of scrimmage. Keep this in mind too, Jim. Ray Roberts, the left tackle for Virginia, came back limping that time. He's hurt. So if they want to go to the left side, they've got a weakness there right now.
The other thing to consider is if Virginia does not score on this play, will George Welsh go for the field goal to tie it, or will he go for the win? 2:44 left. 3rd and goal from the 6. Knocked down. Tiggle. Here comes a decision of a lifetime. You fight your whole career to get here.
No, you go for the field goal here. I'll tell you why. There's 2 minutes and 38 seconds left. He's still going to get that ball back another time. Now, he did tell us he's a gambler, and he will gamble if it comes down to that situation late where he has to go for the tie or the win. And he says he may never be in this situation again where he's #1 in the nation. But right now, you got to take the points with 2:38 left.
22 yards. McInerney to tie it. And he does. 38 all. Interestingly, a tie could still win the conference for Virginia because Georgia Tech would end up having now 2 ties in conference play, Carolina and Virginia.
But what's more important, the ACC championship or the national title? What is more important? He says he's never been in this situation before. Here's that last play. What a great effort here by the linebacker. Tiggle, watch him lay out and knock it down. But you know what I mean, Jim? Do you take the ACC championship, which a tie would give him, or do you take the #1 ranking and go for the win, because even a tie, I think, would drop Virginia dramatically in the polls.
It would spoil the dream game they've been hoping for. You've got to think they would drop to around 7 or 8 in the polls.
I believe that only because there's not much respect for this Virginia team nationwide. A tie would give the people that make those decisions an excuse to drop them heavily.
Coming up at the end of the game, we'll have a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award for each school. It's the 20th consecutive year. Chevrolet donates $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. But you're right. The rationale here is that George Welsh believes Georgia Tech will come out and have to put the ball up in the air, banking on his team getting the turnover and getting the football back.
I can tell you this from experience, too. Bobby Ross is a gambler. He's not going to sit on this football.
Tisdale. He's been a miracle worker before. This time to the 25. He ran one back a week ago. Virginia thinks there was a fumble on the tail end of that kick. First down, Georgia Tech, with 2:28 remaining.
Keep in mind, as they start this drive, Georgia Tech has only one timeout, as you mentioned earlier.
Lofting it across the bell. And here comes Tech right away near midfield. Had the touch on that pass. Sean Jones, 24 yards to William Bell.
Well designed, well executed. It was also interesting at the beginning of that how they had the long count. You see what Bobby Ross is doing with a long count? It slows down the defensive line by forcing them to be more disciplined.
Goolsby to the left. Lester to the right. William Bell straight ahead into Virginia territory.
Ball's loose.
Or was he down? First down, Georgia Tech. At the 40-yard line of Virginia. Was it a fumble?
Well, here's another look at it. There's the hit. There's the ball. It's loose. That's a fumble.
Clearly
that should have been
fumble.
Virginia's football.
Yeah, but maybe Georgia Tech recovered. It looks like he has it. It was definitely a fumble.
It was loose.
1:40 to go. See him react, roll back over on it.
He got it.
Play action fake, sprinting left. Jones will run and get down from behind by P.J. Killian. They need about another 10 yards to get them in field goal range. Left. 2nd and 10. Rodriguez at the 34. They've got to be very judicious in how they use that one timeout. It'll be 3rd and about 4 coming up. If they misfire on a pass here, this would be 52 yards away. A field goal attempt. The kicker, Scott Sisson, has made a career long of 46.
Gilchrist, the track star, has come back into the ball game and goes to the top of the screen.
They're letting the clock run.
Play clock is at 2.
Jones has Lester down to the 20. Tech's going to be set up to win this game. Number 12 receiving. To stop the clock. to move the chains. And now Bobby Ross is taking no chances. He brings his field goal unit out with 12 seconds remaining. Scott Sisson, 1 for 1 today. The officials are meeting at the 20-yard line.
I'm looking over here at the Georgia Tech coaches, and they're not sure what's going on either. There's a delay somehow, and you're right, the officials are in the middle of the field. I didn't see a timeout signal by Virginia. They certainly had time to take it. Georgia Tech acted like they took it.
I wish they changed the down marker on the far sidelines. It says third down. It is not third down. It's first down. They had to stop the clock to move the chains. And now we hear that Georgia Tech called a timeout.
It's last.
Scott Aldridge will hold.
Now Virginia takes one of theirs. They have 2 left. I'd take both of them here.
Scott Sisson, the place kicker, worked at a kicking camp this summer. He worked there with Kevin Butler of the Chicago Bears and place kicker Greg Davis of the Atlanta Falcons. He helped run the kicking camp at Furman University over in Greenville, South Carolina. I wonder if they dealt with this situation right here. There's no way that you can simulate the pressure that he's about to face on one kick. Georgia Tech out to spoil Virginia's Cinderella season. In fact, a tie would really, in essence, do that anyway. And that's where we're at right now, 38 all. Watching, so is every college football fan in the land. A lot hinges on this one. From 37 yards. Sisson. Yes!
Just drilled it right down the pipe. Seven seconds remain. Virginia still has 2 timeouts. That was a moot point now. They're definitely going to try to get it downfield to their tall receiver, I would assume, and that being Herman Moore. If, in fact, they get it back after the kick,
they could run it out on the kick return. There's a lot of dancing around. Bobby Ross trying to restore the glory of Bobby Dodd in Georgia Tech's past. We said he has started a revolution at Georgia Tech. That man has done an unbelievable job.
Down it.
And he does. Dave Sweeney rolls on the ground at the 25. Time for one last. More to more.
Well-schooled team there. Get it, down it, save the clock. 6 seconds left. Now you really need something special to happen. You need a miracle here, and you have to go to the tall guy, and that's Moore.
Ken Swilling is already back at his 35-yard line. Doesn't even have his helmet on yet. Moore heaves it. Intercepted, Georgia Tech. The Cinderella season is over at Virginia. Georgia Tech has done it. Eric Fry with a last play interception, and let's go down to John Dockery.
Can you describe the feeling, or the meaning and the feeling of this win?
It's a great day for me, John. I found out my son's going to have another little boy. It's just great. It's the greatest win I've ever had. Our kids just fought and hung in there, and they just wouldn't quit. We told them we thought we could win at halftime, and we did it.
Well, you did, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Jim Nantz, to you.
This game had it all. All the big plays, all the excitement, all of the emotion.
This year, IndyCar racing was dominated by one man.